Chapter 45-92. We'll meet again. His entire body exploded, brought away by a wave of five-colored light, leaving the Tao realm. The life he left behind in the Tao realm was wasted for nothing. In a short period of time, all of the intermediate gods had perished. Only the ground continued to burn with scorching flames. Let's leave this place. Lin Ling knew that they shouldn't stay here for long. He was afraid that the Taili fire would explode. Then, the three carefully avoided the Taili fire and ran into the distance. Under a large tree not far from the island, the three of them sat cross-legged. They were not far from the island, and they could see the vast yellow river. The large tree they were on was like an umbrella, and it was very ancient. Under the large tree, it would take a lot less time to recover. Rumble. Behind them was a huge volcano. The volcano would erupt from time to time and rain lava down from the sky. However, the lava was blocked by the umbrella tree. This Tao realm is indeed a desolate land. It's a mess. Lin Ling looked at the yellow river in front of him and then at the volcano behind him. He shook his head helplessly. Bai Shui and Su Nu were recovering, so Lin Ling transmitted to Yu Yu and the rest to let them know that they were fine. Yu Yu and the rest transmitted to Lin Ling that treasure god Nanhua Fengyu and the rest were preparing to break through the miasma again. They would meet up with them soon. Grandpa Treasure God and the rest reached the 5th level. They have some item fragments that can be exchanged for treasures to cultivate. After this cultivation, the chances of leaving the miasma are very high. Giant Ghost and the rest should be back soon. When the time comes, let them break through the miasma and enter the Tao realm together. Lin Ling thought to himself. Because the Tao realm was very dangerous, the 3 strongest people in Lei Gong's hall would be the first to explore. I wonder how Lord Ning and the rest of the Spirit Nation and the 10 Orthodoxies are doing. Lin Ling looked into the distance. It was not easy for them to walk out of the island from the Lei Gong Palace. He wondered if the Spirit Nation had also walked out of the fog barrier. However, the lower gods from before weren't strong. This means that there are strong and weak fogs as well. If Ling Nation is lucky and encountered a weaker fog, then they should be in the Tao realm now. However, the Tao realm is huge. It won't be easy to encounter one. Patriarch Lightning Tai said that the 5 emperors were the most ancient of the Yorwild's 5 emperors. Who would have thought that they would appear in the Tao realm? Hopefully, I'll be able to meet even more ancient gods in the future. Lin Ling smiled and began to cultivate as well. He had passed through the miasma and obtained 99 Tao realm fragments. Including the Tao realm fragments he had won from the calamity-traversing star sovereign, he now had more than 600 Tao realm fragments. However, Lin Ling didn't intend to exchange for any treasures, because he felt that the most important thing now was to step into the ranks of mid-gods. After all, no matter how strong he was as a lower god, he was still like an ant in front of a mid-god. Only by stepping into the ranks of mid-gods could he walk out of the Tao realm. I need to get more Tao realm fragments. Lin Ling continuously probed the Tao Returnance realm and began to prepare the treasures he needed to break through to become a mid-level deity. Lin Ling, I can give you my Tao realm fragment so that you can break through to the deity realm as soon as possible. My lord, mine too. At this time, Saint Guy and the others who had recovered their strength looked at Lin Ling and said. There's no need. There are many ways to get Tao realm fragments in the Tao realm. Just be patient. Lin Ling smiled and rejected them. He continued to search for the Tao realm fragments. However, there were many ways to get Tao realm fragments. Unfortunately, the rewards were too little and the process was too troublesome. While there were many rewards, but the difficulty was too high. Lin Ling had a headache. Oh right, Hongyan ancestor said that 3rd Ghost Master is very familiar with the Tao realm. Why don't I ask him for advice? Suddenly, Lin Ling seemed to have thought of something. He quickly used the square prison and entered it. My lord, have you seen my son, Ancestor Hongyun? As Lin Ling walked through the prison, he passed by Ancestor Hongyun's prison. The old man asked excitedly. Not yet. I just walked out of the fog and met a mid-god called Ancestor Lei Tai. He caused me a lot of trouble. Now, I want more Dao realm fragments so that I can break through to the next realm as soon as possible. Lin Ling didn't hide anything and said indifferently. 3 lightning provinces, Ancestor Lei Tai. F***CK, is that kid rebelling? How dare he touch my lord? Hearing this, Ancestor Hongyun was furious. If Lin Ling died, he would never be able to leave the prison and see Ancestor Hongyun again. You know them? Lin Ling looked at Ancestor Hongyun curiously. Of course I know them. Back then, he was just a small god in charge of thunder. Later on, he offended a great god and was no longer a god. I remember when he left the heavenly court, he was crying and begging me to show him the way. Ancestor Hongyun said disdainfully. This made Lin Ling laugh. It turned out that the so-called Ancestor Lei Tai was just a child in front of the true ancient gods. Oh right, how is Third Ghost Master? Is he easy to talk to? Lin Ling suddenly thought of something and asked again. Third Ghost Master is not easy to talk to. He is very cold. Back in the ancient times, he was very powerful and was the most mysterious among the ancient gods. Not many people knew about his background and no one knew how powerful he was. Later on, I heard that he offended a great ancient god, the Nether River sect. Ancestor Hongyun was framed by the Nether River sect and was sent to this prison. The Nether River sect seems to be an ancient god. His strength is comparable to the Buddha god. That's right. But sir, why are you looking for Third Ghost Master? Although I am not very familiar with the Tao state, I should be able to help. I am now near the island and I want to get more Tao state fragments. I am trying to see if there is a way to get more Tao state fragments. Island? Is there a river with an ancient giant beast in the foggy island? That's simple. The reward for killing an ancient giant beast with red hair is 3,000 Tao state fragments for the first time. The second time, it is 1,000. The third time, it is 500. The rewards are getting lesser and lesser. There are only ancient giant crocodiles in the river. Is that possible? Yes. Sir, if you look closely, you will notice that there are a few types of crocodiles with red hair. It is said that they are formed by a strand of divine origin energy of the ancient giant god. If you kill them, you will be rewarded. Not many people know about this secret. Lin Ling was overjoyed when he heard that. 3,000 Dao realm fragments was a pretty good harvest. Although the ancient giant crocodiles were powerful, anything was possible if they joined forces with Shingyi and the rest. Alright, I will try my best to help you find Ancestor Hongyun. Lin Ling left after saying that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I kneel down in front of you. Ancestor Hongyun kowtowed to Lin Ling in excitement. Although the secret he revealed would cause countless ancient gods in the Dao realm to go crazy, after all, 3,000 Dao realm fragments from killing an ancient giant beast was not a small amount. Chapter 4593. After leaving the prison, Lin Ling checked on Saint Guyi in Saint Guyi. Seeing that they had recovered their strength, he told them about his plan. Primordial alligator. Saint Guyi and White Maiden frowned. They knew how terrifying the primordial alligator was. It was as powerful as a mid-god, and even stronger than the average mid-god. Don't worry, I've thought about it. If we fight on the river, we'll definitely lose. However, if we can lure the primordial alligator up, it won't be difficult. Lin Ling said with a smile. If that's the case, we still have a chance. Shingyi and Whitewater Pure Maiden nodded. Let's see how Grandpa Treasure God and the others are doing. Lin Ling asked Yu Yu and learned that Nanwu Fengyu and Qilin were already breaking through the miasma. Since that was the case, he would wait for them. After all, time was not a problem. The three of them sat down cross-legged and made use of the time to increase their strength. Lin Ling knew that it would be dangerous later, so he focused on increasing his speed. Of course, it would be difficult to increase his speed in a short period of time. Therefore, his eyes fell on the Quafu sun-chasing boots. Last time, under the Celestial Mountain, he had used the blood of the Quafu tribe to activate this divine artifact. Speed. Now, if he wanted to fully control this divine artifact, he needed to be sincere enough to move metal and stone. Ever since the Celestial Mountain, Lin Ling had been using his blood essence to nourish this divine artifact. Now, he wanted to try it out. As his divine energy quietly poured in, an ancient aura began to spread. Lin Ling saw a primitive world in his mind. There were no plants or living things in this world. There were only lonely mountains. In the sky, the scorching sun roasted the earth. The temperature was incomparably high. A huge giant was running on the ground, chasing the sun in the sky as if it wanted to destroy the sun. Quafu's sun-chasing boots. Success. Lin Ling sensed that he had finally communicated with the Quafu sun-chasing boots. A weird feeling suddenly surged into Lin Ling's heart. He felt as if he had turned into Quafu and had the power to chase after the wind and the sun. And between Lin Ling's legs, a pair of ancient boots appeared, emitting a scorching light. Beside him, Shengyi and Whitewater Pure Maiden also sensed it. Their eyes were filled with shock because the aura emitted from Lin Ling's body was very ancient. It was not much weaker than the Eastern Emperor Bell. At this moment, Lin Ling was still comprehending the Qua Fu Sun chasing boots. He realized that this chaos divine weapon was incredibly powerful. It could provide the most ancient and strongest speed of chasing the sun. And now, even though Lin Ling was only at the initial stage of comprehending the Qua Fu Sun chasing boots, Lin Ling's speed had already increased by 1.5 million worlds. In addition to Lin Ling's third stage talent fusion speed, his speed could reach 3 million world speed. As expected of the most ancient divine weapon, it was comparable to Shengyi's Eastern Emperor Bell. It was just that it had no attack power. It could be said that Lin Ling's speed was unparalleled among lower gods. Even among mid-gods, there were very few who could catch up to him. Against a mid-god, even if he couldn't win, escaping would not be difficult. After who knew how long, Lin Ling's voice came. It was Nanwu Fengyu and treasure god Nanwu Fengyu who had walked out of the fog. Great! Lin Ling was overjoyed. It seemed that Nanwu Fengyu and treasure god Nanwu Fengyu had exchanged for the most suitable treasures. Of course, this still surprised Lin Ling a little. After all, so many ancient gods had been trapped on the island, and none of them had succeeded. But Nanwu Fengyu and treasure god Nanwu Fengyu had succeeded on their second try. This meant that there must have been some fortuitous encounter. Young Lin was also normal. His origin was not weak. As for treasure god Nanwu Fengyu, he must have encountered some good fortune. Lin Ling. After a while, treasure god Nanwu Fengyu and treasure god Nanwu Fengyu came over. After seeing Lin Ling's group from afar, they all smiled excitedly. No matter what, the strongest people in Lei Gong's hall could gather. This was better than anything else. Treasure god Grandpa, you guys recover first. After the few of them gathered, Lin Ling told them his purpose. TSK, killing the ancient crocodile, that's too perverse. After knowing Lin Ling's thoughts, young Lin was a little tongue-tied. Because, he also knew how terrifying those ancient crocodiles were. No matter, we still have a chance of winning. Most importantly, after killing the ancient crocodile, we'll get 3,000 Dao Realm fragments. If we divide them equally, everyone will get quite a bit. Lin Ling comforted. 3,000. Young Lin and treasure god Nanwu Fengyu's eyes turned red. They knew that in the Tao realm, they would get one Tao realm fragment every 100,000 years. 3,000, how many tens of thousands of years would that take? Is this news true? Treasure God Nanwu Fengyu felt that if this news spread, the Tao realm experts would go crazy for a short while. Don't worry, it's definitely true. Lin Ling nodded. Treasure God Nanwu Fengyu and Treasure God Nanwu Fengyu suppressed their excitement and quickly recovered. After a long time, the two stood up with faces full of anticipation. Everyone is ready, let's go capture the ancient crocodile. Lin Ling was also a little excited. A group of lower gods attacking an ancient crocodile, just thinking about it was exciting. They would probably be the first group of lower gods to go kill an ancient crocodile. Everyone came to the ancient riverside, not daring to get too close. Their eyes were fixed on the rolling yellow river water. From time to time, huge black backs floated out like ancient divine mountains. Lin Ling, have you found the ancient crocodile with red fur on its back? Saint Guy suddenly asked. Lin Ling shook his head, there are too many ancient crocodiles, it's hard to find them in a short time. Also, I don't think I've seen any ancient crocodile with red fur. He carefully searched for a long time but still found nothing. Of course, he couldn't rule out the possibility that these ancient crocodiles were very rare and were hiding at the bottom of the river. He needed more patience to search for them. Red fur. After a long time, Lin Ling finally found something. He found that one of the ancient crocodile's back did indeed have a strand of red fur the size of a hair. It was hard to see with the naked eye, and Lin Ling found it with his soul force. Of course, that strand of hair looked ordinary, but if one carefully sensed it, they could feel the mysteries within. It was as if the hair had endless vitality. This feeling was very similar to the light of life spat out by the Enlightenment seahorse. If I'm not wrong, it's that one. Lin Ling locked onto that ancient crocodile, but the headache was that this ancient crocodile was hiding in a group of crocodiles. It would be difficult to lure it out of the river. Chapter 4594. Alright. But Lin Ling, you're going to lure them? How are you going to do that? The river is very dangerous. Everyone agreed at first, but when they thought of Lin Ling being the bait, they started to worry again. Sir, I have the Donghuang bell to protect me. Let me go. Saint Guy volunteered. You. Do you know which one it is? Even if I tell you which one it is, there are so many crocodiles in the river. You'll lose it in the blink of an eye. Alright, let's follow the plan. I'll lure them. Lin Ling shook his head and refused. He unleashed his third stage talent fusion and shot towards the ancient river. Even Lin Ling had to be careful when facing the intermediate god primordial crocodile. He unleashed his full speed and dodged the primordial crocodile in the river. He quickly arrived on top of the crimson crocodile and used all his strength to slash at it. Rumble. The river exploded, and countless primordial crocodiles were alarmed. Lin Ling's attack caught them off guard, and they couldn't react in time. A terrifying sword slash, accompanied by a sea of blood, split the river and landed heavily on the crimson crocodile. It actually flipped it over with one slash. Of course, it was only flipped over. The primordial crocodile quickly flipped over and roared at Lin Ling in the sky as it charged towards him. Roar! A gust of wind shot out from the primordial crocodile's mouth. When it reached Lin Ling, he lost his balance and his expression changed drastically. Run! Without saying anything else, Lin Ling unleashed his full speed and rushed towards the river bank. Rumble! Almost at the same time, the river water shot up into the sky like an apocalyptic explosion. Countless primordial crocodiles rushed out of the water and chased after Lin Ling. Among them, the crimson crocodile was the fastest. Clearly, it was completely enraged by Lin Ling. Lin Ling, hurry up. On the river bank, treasure god Nanwu Fengyu and the rest shouted worriedly. Lin Ling's face was grim as he looked back. What he saw gave him a huge fright. Behind him were countless mouths that were madly trying to devour him. Lin Ling didn't have the slightest bit of doubt in his eyes. With just one bite, even someone as strong as Lin Ling would be bitten to pieces. That kind of power was definitely at the level of 3,000 or even 50 million worlds. As for Lin Ling's strongest physical strength, even Panga's attack was only 1,500. Bastard, come and kill me. However, Lin Ling was afraid that the red-haired giant crocodile would lose track of him, so he kept slashing out with his sword. Although he couldn't hurt the red-haired giant crocodile, he kept angering it. This ancient crocodile had long since gained sentience. Although it wasn't very smart, it had devoured the essence of the universe for many years and knew a lot of things. They had a feeling that the puny human was not strong and could be swallowed in one gulp. Sir, be careful. Suddenly, Saint Guy shouted. In front of Lin Ling, a huge mouth suddenly appeared. It turned out that on Lin Ling's way back, those ancient crocodiles were also awakened. This made Saint Guy want to rush out of the river bank to help. Don't go. But Pure White stopped him. If you go, with your Donghuang bell, those bastards will retreat back into the river. Even if they don't retreat, they won't come ashore easily. These bastards are too cunning. But Saint Guy was still worried. Believe in Lin Ling. Treasure God Nanwu Fengyu also comforted, but his hands were clenched tightly into fists. Sir, do your best. Saint Guy didn't dare to spoil the plan, so he held back. He knew that once the Donghuang bell appeared, the sky would change color, and those ancient crocodiles would become cautious. Step of wisdom. At this moment, Lin Ling also sensed the danger in front of him. He quickly activated his soul power to seal those huge mouths. Although it couldn't stop the ancient crocodiles from devouring, it slowed them down, allowing Lin Ling to quickly dodge. Bang bang bang. Those huge mouths suddenly closed, but they didn't bite Lin Ling. Instead, they tore apart the void of the Tao realm. Although Lin Ling avoided the danger in front of him, because of the delay, the ancient crocodiles behind him were getting closer and closer. At this critical moment, Lin Ling had no choice but to use the Quafu sun chasing boots. Bang! In the sky, a gorgeous flaming footprint was left behind, rushing towards the river bank. From afar, it was beautiful. The sudden burst of speed of 3 million worlds stunned the army behind him. Then, the ancient crocodiles became even angrier. Of course, many ancient crocodiles began to retreat into the water, too lazy to care about Lin Ling. Only the red-furred crocodile was still chasing after Lin Ling, determined to kill him. Whoosh! Lin Ling's speed exploded, but he didn't rush to the river bank. Instead, he chose to use the bait tactic, flying towards the river bank. As a result, the red-furred crocodile took the bait. Every time it wanted to give up, Lin Ling would lure it closer and closer to the river bank. He's coming, young Lin, get ready. At the river bank, Nanwu Fengyu and Treasure God had been preparing for a long time. When Lin Ling got closer, they attacked. Wind and rain gathered, forming a huge whirlpool that swept towards the red-furred crocodile. Of course, their combined attack couldn't hurt the crocodile at all. Instead, it angered the red-furred crocodile. Bang bang bang. Finally, the crocodile reached the river bank. Lin Ling and the rest gathered together, looking at the huge crocodile. It was fine if they didn't look, but when they did, they were shocked. The giant crocodile was simply too huge. Its body was filled with sharp teeth like the toughest armor. The armor was filled with an ancient aura. It could be seen that this ancient giant crocodile was quite old. Retreat, attack and retreat at the same time. Lin Ling instructed, and slashed out with his sword at the same time. Roar! The red-furred crocodile roared, and chased after them, getting further and further away from the river bank. Saint Guy! At this moment, Lin Ling finally shouted. It was time for Saint Guy and the rest to attack. Everyone, give it your all. Lin Ling then shouted to Young Lin and the rest. Dong! The Donghuang bell came down, breaking through time, domineering and majestic. When it hit the crocodile couldn't move anymore, and Lin Ling and the rest's attacks arrived, wreaking havoc on the crocodile. Among them, pure Lady White controlled the billowing heavenly river to blind the crocodile's eyes, giving it a fatal blow. Of course, what really killed the crocodile was the Donghuang bell. On the ancient bell, the door to the heaven realm opened, and an ancient and domineering power came out, silencing the crocodile. My lord, it's true. 3,000 Dao state shards are in our hands. As soon as the red-furred crocodile died, Saint Guy shouted excitedly, because 3,000 Dao state shards had appeared in his celestial throne. Chapter 4595. 3,000. There are 6 of us and each of us can get 500 Tao state fragments. Lin Ling was also very excited. The reward from killing one primordial giant crocodile was comparable to all his rewards on the island. Lin Ling now had a total of 1,000 Tao state fragments. Let's do it again. The reward for killing the second red-haired giant crocodile is 1,000. The third one is 500. Alright, let's rest for a while and do it again. Everyone was very excited and quickly sat down to recover. The reward this time was enough to increase their strength greatly. It was even possible for them to step into the ranks of intermediate gods. As long as they became intermediate gods, they would be able to go further in the Tao realm. After a long while, everyone recovered and continued to lure the red-haired giant crocodile onto the shore. After some effort, another 1,000 Tao state fragments were obtained. Next was the third time. Every ancient great god had a total of 3 chances to kill the primordial giant crocodile. If one exceeded 3 chances, there would be no reward. However, when Emperor God Zhang Gang and the rest walked out of the island, even Yu and the rest, Lin Ling could help them kill the giant crocodile. Although Lin Ling wouldn't receive any reward, at least it would increase the strength of Yu and the rest greatly. The Tao state fragments obtained from killing the giant crocodile could only be divided among the few who killed it. Those who killed it more than 3 times wouldn't receive any Tao state fragments. Someone is killing the cosmic crocodile. This is crazy. When Lin Ling and the rest killed the third primordial giant crocodile, more than 10 figures walked over from afar. When they saw the scene, they were shocked. What does this mean? Killing the primordial giant crocodile, could there be some treasure? Impossible. In the Tao realm, many ancient great gods have tried to kill the primordial giant crocodile. However, other than the armor on their bodies, these primordial giant crocodiles are useless. Of course, compared to killing the primordial giant crocodile, I'm more curious about how 4 lower gods and 1 intermediate god are going to kill the primordial giant crocodile. These people were chatting in a carefree manner. Looking at the divine robes they were wearing, they were extremely brilliant. However, they weren't weak. They were all intermediate gods. Hence, when they looked at Lin Ling and the rest, they were looking at their juniors. Rumble. However, when the primordial giant alligator smashed into the ground, the primordial gods were shocked. 12 Chaos Divine Artifacts, the Eastern Emperor Bell. Heavens, that's someone from the Eastern Emperor clan. Moreover, the young man with the Sunflame boots is wearing the Quafu Sunchaser boots, one of the 12 Chaos Divine weapons. How did he get his hands on such a precious treasure? Most importantly, they have all refined it and made the Chaos Divine Artifact recognize them as its master. TSK, these little fellows are really not simple. How could the few of them be as carefree as before? Their horizons had all been broadened. That was because a mere lesser deity was actually this strong. Then, they all walked over. At this moment, Lin Ling and the others were extremely excited. They had obtained the last 500 Dao Realm shards, and each of them could obtain 100 shards. This time, it was a great harvest. Even the treasures that Lin Ling needed to step into the mid-level deity stage would be 80% sufficient. As for treasure god Nanwu Fengyu and the others, they'd gathered all the treasures they needed a long time ago. It was even to the extent that for the sake of being absolutely safe, they'd bought quite a few treasures that could assist in their breakthroughs. They're so happy after killing the primordial giant crocodile. Are they crazy? What treasures could those primordial giant crocodile have that would make them so happy? If they were ordinary people, I'd think they're crazy too. But don't forget, among the 5 of them, 2 of them have the 12 Chaos Divine weapons. They're definitely not crazy. The reason they're happy is because they've obtained something else. An elderly man said with a faint smile. Fellow cultivators, may I know what the reward for killing the primordial giant crocodile is? Can you tell me? The elder stopped in his tracks and asked politely. His voice also interrupted Lin Ling and the others' excitement. They glanced around and saw that a large number of mid-level deities had appeared behind them. Their strength was incomparably strong. Don't be nervous, we have no ill intentions. I'm one of the 20 Celestials, Polywan Celestial. The elder explained with a smile, this is also one of the 20 Celestials, called Brahma Celestial. We're all deities conferred by one of the 5 emperors, Emperor Yao. 5 emperors again. Lin Ling and the others' eyes flickered. Not long ago, Patriarch Lei Tai was a deity conferred by Emperor Jun. This group of people was Emperor Yao. To be honest, because this is our secret, it's inconvenient to tell you. Lin Ling said with a smile and cupped his fists in salute. Although these people had the strength of a mid-level deity, Lin Ling felt that they had no ill intentions, so he replied politely. Oh. Polywan Celestial's expression changed slightly. He smiled again and said, fellow cultivator, if you really have a secret, there's no harm in telling us. We'll reward you accordingly. Alright, 3,000 Dao state fragments and I'll tell you the secret. Lin Ling pondered. He did not intend to hide any secrets. Firstly, even if they killed the red-haired giant crocodile, they would not obtain any Dao state fragments. Secondly, the other party was very polite. At some point in time, it was better to have one more friend than one more enemy. 3,000. Even so, the mid-level deities were shocked. What an exorbitant price. Did this kid know what 3,000 Dao state fragments represented? Fellow Daoist, isn't 3,000 Dao realm fragments too much? Brahma Celestial said with a smile. He did not blame Lin Ling for his rudeness. If you're Emperor Yao's people, then the information I give you will definitely be beneficial to you. 3,000 Dao state fragments is definitely not a loss for you. Lin Ling also smiled. So sorry, if you want to make a deal, then do it. Otherwise, we won't casually tell this secret to others. Alright, we agree. Polywan Celestial pondered for a moment and agreed readily. The mid-level deities around them were secretly shocked. Polywan Celestial actually believed him so quickly. How could they know what Duo Wentian was thinking? Since Duo Wentian saw that Lin Ling and the others had Chaos Divine artifacts, their backgrounds were definitely not simple. Moreover, even if their backgrounds were ordinary, with the Chaos Divine artifacts, they would definitely be extraordinary in the future. Therefore, Duo Wentian wanted to make another friend. Afterwards, Polywan Celestial took out his Dao regression tablet and passed the 3,000 Dao state fragments to Lin Ling. When Lin Ling found out that the Dao regression tablet had gained yet another Dao state fragment, he immediately nodded inwardly. This Polywan Celestial was quite straightforward. Because among the primordial giant crocodiles, one of them has red fur. If you can kill it, the Dao state fragment will reward you with 3,000 Dao state fragments. The second kill will reward you with 1000 Dao state fragments, the third kill will reward you with 500 Dao state fragments, and that's it. Lin Ling said directly. What? How do you know such a secret? Chapter 4596. They even thought that Lin Ling was lying to them. After all, Lin Ling and the rest were just lesser gods. They had only been in the Dao realm for a few thousand years. They had been here for 1,000,000 years and had never heard of such a thing. You can try. Lin Ling knew that they did not believe him, so he smiled. Red fur crocodile. Duo Wentian immediately came to the river and began to investigate. Soon, he frowned and said, "This river is formed by the giant god's energy. I can only vaguely see the crocodile in the river, but it seems very difficult to find the red fur crocodile. I have a way to find it, but I can't tell anyone about it. So, I'm sorry." Lin Ling said apologetically. He had revealed the secret, but he could not possibly help them find the red fur crocodile. Duo Wentian turned to Lin Ling and said politely, "Fellow cultivator, don't worry. It's not that I don't believe you, but I can't find the red fur crocodile. Why don't you come with me to Emperor Yao and give us some pointers?" Lin Ling could not help but look at Saint Guy and the rest, asking for their opinion. However, Saint Guy and the rest were led by Lin Ling, so they let Lin Ling make the decision. Lin Ling pondered for a moment and finally agreed. They had just left the island and were not familiar with the Dao realm. Moreover, they had offended the gods on Emperor Jun's side, so it was not a bad idea to lie low for a while. Most importantly, Lin Ling felt that Duo Wentian was not bad. All right. Lin Ling nodded. Straightforward. Don't worry, if you meet Emperor Yao, he will definitely appreciate you. Seeing that Lin Ling had agreed, Duo Wentian was overjoyed. The other mid-gods also smiled politely at Lin Ling and the rest, then led the way. Although Lin Ling's group was just a low god, they did not dare to underestimate Lin Ling's group because they possessed chaos divine artifacts. They were deeply afraid that Lin Ling's group had a powerful background. Along the way, they flew across the boundless wilderness. Along the way, they encountered enormous demons, which were all dealt with by Duo Wentian and the others. This made Lin Ling realize how powerful these common gods were. After one became a mid-level deity, one's power of divinity would be in the millions. A low-level deity would not be able to compare at all. Moreover, if one's talent was exceptional, after breaking through, the amount of divine force one could obtain wouldn't be just 1,000,000, it would be even greater. After a long time, a surging river appeared before his eyes. Beside the river, there was an endless stream of ancient gods cultivating. They had their own caverns and were either comprehending the Tao by the river or in their own caverns. Rays of treasure lights would occasionally soar into the sky. Lin Ling's gaze swept over the place, and he quietly discovered that there were more mid-level deities here than lesser deities. On top of that, the lesser deities all looked relatively young. When Duo Wentian arrived with Lin Ling's group, all the ancient gods were attracted to them. There were Buddhas, divine generals, emperors, and deity kings. They all looked curiously at Lin Ling's group. Moreover, they were powerful and had the means to investigate Lin Ling's past and present life. However, due to etiquette, they did not do so. They left a very good impression on Lin Ling's group. This is Lei Gong Lin Ling. This is Shengyi of the East Royal Clan. This is Whitewater Pure Maiden. Back then, her father was the Sky River Water God. This is Nanhua Fenyu Treasure God from the era of the gods. This is young Lin. Duo Wentian smiled as he introduced Lin Ling's group to them. Descendants of the East Royal Tai. TSK, how rare. The ancient gods were shocked, and they were even more polite to Lin Ling's group. Sky River Water God, Back then, we were close friends. How is your father now? Back then, he was incomparably powerful. If he hadn't fallen, his strength would definitely surpass all of us. Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu, haha. Do you still remember me? Following that, many people walked out from the crowd and greeted him with smiles. They all recognized Whitewater Pure Maiden and the others. And some of the reincarnated gods from the era of the gods even recognized Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu. It's you guys. After some conversation, Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu was very surprised. Although he wasn't very familiar with these gods who greeted him, they had met and chatted a little in the past. Never had they imagined that they would actually be able to meet again after 1,000,000 years. Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu, you didn't reincarnate? After some conversation, the mid-level deities looked at Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu in shocked that he had come back to life in the era of the gods. Looking at all of you right now, I want to reincarnate even more now. Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu couldn't help but laugh after seeing these familiar faces. They were all reincarnated, but they were now intermediate gods while he was still a lesser god. You are thinking too much. The reason why we can cultivate faster is because we have been in the Tao realm for a long time. Moreover, after reincarnating, we appeared in the primal chaos realm, so our conditions are much better than yours. Plus, after entering the Tao realm, we followed Emperor Yao, so our treatment was naturally not bad. These familiar faces didn't want to embarrass Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu and immediately explained. It's fine, as long as we can enter the Tao realm. Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu waved his sleeve without a care. The smile on his face was still there. Clearly, today's unexpected event left him in a good mood. This is Lei Gong Lin Ling. Lei Gong from the era of the gods. Someone looked at Lin Ling and asked. This person came from the era of the gods, so he clearly knew Lei Gong. Sorry, I am not Lei Gong from the era of the gods. Lei Gong is my lord. Lin Ling explained with a smile. Then how is Lei Gong now? Hearing this, that person frowned and asked. He is very good right now, but he is not with us right now. That's good, that's good. As long as he is not abandoned by the heavenly Tao reincarnation, we will meet again one day. A goddess said. Looking at her eyes, they were actually quietly becoming moist. Lin Ling was secretly speechless. It seemed like Lei Gong was also a playboy back then. After so many years, this girl still remembered him. From now on, you can stay in Emperor Yao's territory. I will take care of you in Lei Gong's place. That goddess said again, looking at Lin Ling as if she was looking at her own junior. This made Lin Ling feel helpless. He came here with no intention of joining Emperor Yao. Everyone is thinking too much. Lei Gong Lin Ling came here because he found a method to obtain more Tao realm fragments. Today, he is here to demonstrate it. At this time, Duo Wentian laughed and explained the method Lin Ling knew to everyone. Without a doubt, all the intermediate gods were shocked. Killing a red-furred giant crocodile and obtaining 3,000 Tao realm fragments. If this was the truth, then they were really rich. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Ling. Chapter 4597. Under everyone's suspicious gazes, Lin Ling slowly walked to the riverbank. Rumble. A deafening rumble resounded as the river water surged like a dragon, overturning rivers and seas. The momentum was so terrifying that any lower god would be drowned in it. The water in this ancient yellow river was clearly stronger than the water around the island. The dense mist formed by the river water's impact allowed Yi Han to see the shape of a dragon and a qilin. Lei Gong Lin Ling, be careful. This is one of the Tao River's tributaries, twice as sharp as the rivers in other places. In the distance, the goddess reminded in a low voice. Her words made Treasure God Nan Wu Feng Yu and the others laugh secretly. From their previous conversation, they knew that this goddess was called the Yin God Jade Lady. Although she was not as beautiful as the White Water Goddess, she was still extremely beautiful. This was the first time she met Lin Ling, but she actually took the initiative to show concern for Lin Ling. Lin Ling's luck with women was not bad. Of course, although they laughed, they also knew that the Yin God Jade Lady showed concern for Lin Ling because she had a good relationship with Lei Gong in the past. What red-haired crocodile? 3,000 Dao realm fragments. What a joke. At this time, a colorful cloud floated over, and on the cloud stood a large group of gods. When they learned of Lin Ling's thoughts, they immediately sneered in disdain. Utter nonsense. A young man in white armor reprimanded him directly. His strength was at the peak of lower god, clearly weaker than the intermediate gods, but he still dared to speak. This meant that his background was not small. White Tiger supervising Divine Monarch. Everyone looked at the young man, frowning slightly. This person had entered the Dao realm 300 years ago, and was the inheritor of the White Tiger supervising Divine Monarch from the Age of Gods. There was a difference between an inheritor and a reincarnated god. An inheritor could obtain the ancient god's inheritance, but not the memories, because the inheritor and the original owner were two different people. On the other hand, a reincarnated god only needed to recover a portion of his strength and memories, then he could return to his former glory. However, although the White Tiger supervising Divine Lord was an inheritor, his master was not simple. He was the White Tiger giant god, an ancient figure. In Emperor Yao's territory, his status was not low. It was precisely because of this that no one dared to underestimate the White Tiger supervising soldier Divine Lord even though he wasn't strong. White Tiger supervising Divine Monarch, they are all acquaintances. They shouldn't be lying to us. Duo Wentian frowned and explained. He was the one who had brought Lin Ling and the rest back. The White Tiger supervising Divine Lord mocked Lin Ling, which was equivalent to embarrassing him. So it's the 24 heavens. I was too reckless before. However, I still stand by my words. These guys are here to deceive us. The White Tiger supervising Divine Lord smiled. He didn't dare to be too rude to Duo Wentian, but he still stood firm on his position. The Dao realm has existed for so many years, and the ancient gods have already explored most of it. If there is such a secret, when will it be the turn of such a minor god to explore it? Therefore, I'm guessing that this junior is here because of the fame, wanting to become a god under Emperor Yao. He's just using deceit. The White Tiger supervising Divine Lord looked indifferently at Lin Ling and said. These words angered Treasure God Nanwu Fengyu and the rest. What deceit? This guy's words were too harsh. Lord Duo Wentian, I think such a liar should be thrown out. The White Tiger supervising Divine Lord said again. Found it. Lure that red-furred giant turtle up. If you can kill it, there will be a reward. At this time, Lin Ling's voice came from the riverbank. He had been searching with his soul force and finally found a red-furred giant beast. However, it wasn't an ancient giant crocodile, but a giant ancient divine turtle. Next, he used his divine essence to draw and point it in the direction. At this time, all the gods looked at Duo Wentian. In truth, although they knew Lin Ling and the rest, they didn't quite believe Lin Ling's words. After all, if there really was such a secret, the ancient gods would have already investigated it. When would it be Lin Ling's turn? Hehe, you really know how to act. A universe turtle has 3,000 Dao realm fragments. Please, at least find a better excuse to cheat. The White Tiger supervising Divine Lord was still in disbelief. He didn't have any enmity with Lin Ling, but he felt that a minor god like Lin Ling wasn't qualified to attract the god's attention. Therefore, he wanted to teach Lin Ling a lesson and let Lin Ling know that Emperor Yao's territory wasn't all there was to it. They were all fools. Let's go and try. Duo Wentian pondered for a moment and made up his mind. This meant that he still believed in Lin Ling. After all, he was different from the others. He knew that Lin Ling and the rest had chaos divine artifacts, so they weren't simple people. Duo Wentian, are you kidding me? You really believe it? Sigh, I thought you were the reincarnation of a great god and had seen a lot, but your eyes aren't as clear as mine. The white tiger supervising Divine Lord obviously didn't expect Duo Wentian to make one mistake after another. Let's try it. Although the others didn't quite believe it, since Duo Wentian had spoken, there was no harm in giving it a try. After all, they wouldn't lose anything. The intermediate gods locked onto the red-furred giant ghost with their powerful divine essence and forcefully pulled it up to the riverbank. They were powerful and didn't have to go through as much trouble as Lin Ling and the rest. Rumble. The giant divine turtle was pulled up like a mountain. Its teeth gleamed as it stared at the gods with murderous intent. Kill it. Duo Wentian and Great Brahma took the lead and attacked the giant divine turtle. The others did the same. They were powerful, and every move they made was worth millions of divine essence. The divine turtle couldn't resist the bombardment at all. As for Lin Ling, as he watched their great battle, he was stunned. This was a true god. The white tiger overseer divine monarch was laughing and chatting with the person behind him. He said in a mocking tone, "Sigh, Lord Duo Wentian can be considered a reincarnated god. How could he believe the words of a junior? Not only that, he even personally took action. When he finds out that it's all a farce, after this farce, he'll probably be so embarrassed that he won't have the face to see anyone." Duo Wentian was quite famous among the children of gods in Emperor Yao. If he was embarrassed, the news would spread among the gods, and Duo Wentian would inevitably become a laughingstock. There really is. However, just as the white tiger supervising Divine Lord finished speaking, Duo Wentian exclaimed. His words caused the side of the Dao River to fall silent. Everyone's jaws dropped. There really is. The white tiger supervising Divine Lord's jaw dropped. You're kidding me. Lord Duo Wentian, is there really such a thing? An old man even rushed to Duo Wentian and asked excitedly. 3,000 Dao realm fragments was no small number. How could they not be excited? Yes, yes, yes. Previously, when the universe turtle died, I kept an eye on the heavenly realm and found that there really were 3,000 Dao realm fragments. I'm rich, I'm rich. Duo Wentian nodded heavily and almost danced with joy. Chapter 4598. An old man bowed slightly to Lin Ling and said, "Lei Gong Lin Ling, can you help us find another one? We want to try." All right. It was just a search. This wasn't difficult for Lin Ling. After all, he didn't have to do anything. He once again came to the riverbank and searched with his soul power. During this process, the white tiger divine lord also used his divine ability to see what Lin Ling was up to. However, he didn't find anything. Because Lin Ling was using his soul power and not any divine ability or precious art, he could only see the soul power surge and couldn't find out what method Lin Ling was using. Damn it! In the end, the white tiger divine lord could only curse inwardly. That one. At this time, Lin Ling also found the next red-furred beast. Let me. The mid-gods were eager to take action. They forcefully brought the red-furred beast to the riverbank and then killed it. Wow, it's true. There are 3,000 Dao realm fragments. Next, the mid-god who killed the red-furred beast roared loudly. If it was said that Duo Wentian had been secretly helping Lin Ling in making things up, now that this mid-god had spoken, everyone no longer doubted Lin Ling. Lei Gong Lin Ling, amazing. What method did you use to cross the Dao River and find these red-furred beasts? All of the gods surrounded Lin Ling, asking excitedly. If at the beginning, they had treated Lin Ling and the others as acquaintances, then now they had already treated Lin Ling as an honored guest. Little deity, I didn't expect you to know a secret that even Emperor Yao didn't know. I'm impressed. However, how did you find these red-furred beasts? Even the White Tiger Divine Sir supervising soldier came over and asked curiously. Naturally, he was also tempted by the 3,000 Dao realm fragments. Sorry, I'm a liar. However, Lin Ling also replied him with a smile, and then ignored him. Having been given the cold shoulder, the White Tiger Overseer Divine Lord gnashed his teeth in anger. However, he didn't dare to flare up. After all the gods were on Lin Ling's side. No one would allow him to touch Lin Ling. How about this? I'll tell Brother Duo Wentian the characteristics and aura of the red-furred beast. You can ask him afterwards. Lin Ling was grateful for Duo Wentian's trust in him, so he decided to give this favor to Duo Wentian. If others wanted to find the red-furred behemoth, they would have to ask Duo Wentian for help. This favor was naturally not small. Most importantly, Lin Ling didn't plan to stay here for too long. He would leave once the wind blew over. After Duo Wentian was taught the characteristics of the red-furred beast by Lin Ling, he was secretly grateful. Although his soul force wasn't as strong as Lin Ling's, he had other abilities to find the red-furred beast. Therefore, he only needed to know the characteristics of the red-furred beast. Thank you, Brother Lin Ling. After understanding the characteristics of the red-furred beast, Duo Wentian bowed to Lin Ling, his face full of courtesy. Right, it's rare for you to come here. Why don't you stay here temporarily? You've reached the pinnacle of lower deity. As long as you have enough Dao realm fragments to exchange for treasures, you can break through at any time. The breakthrough of a lower deity is no small matter, so it'll be safer if you break through here. No one can disturb you. Subsequently, Duo Wentian added. That's a good suggestion. Lin Ling nodded. Even if he didn't think for himself, he had to think for Saint Guy and the others. After all, they had also reached the critical point of breaking through. Alright, sorry to trouble you, Brother Duo Wentian. After breaking through, we'll leave. We won't cause you any trouble. Lin Ling bowed. Look at you, what are you talking about? Duo Wentian couldn't help but shake his head. This Lei Gong Lin Ling was too polite. One had to know that the secret Lin Ling had revealed was priceless. Even if Emperor Yao were here, he would probably have to be polite to Lin Ling. There are many caves here, all very suitable for breaking through. You can choose any one. Duo Wentian said. Come to my place. My cave has a returning array. It's the most suitable place for breaking through. Mine isn't bad either. The Peach Blossom Divine Cloud Land will increase the chances of breaking through by 30%. Come to my place. The mid-gods scrambled to be the first to speak. They were all mid-gods, so breaking through to lower deity wasn't difficult for them. In fact, they could even give some guidance to Lin Ling and the others. Then thank you, everyone. Lin Ling was overjoyed and cupped his hands politely to everyone. Originally, it would be quite difficult for them to attain the strength of a mid-level god. Even if they possessed countless treasures, they could only guarantee a 30% success rate. However, with the help of these mid-level gods, this success rate had undoubtedly increased to over 60%. Next, each of them chose a suitable cave abode. For example, young Qilin chose a cave related to wind. Nanwu Fengyu chose a cave related to water. Lin Ling had 7 dantians, so he chose the returning array. This array could block everything from the outside world and provide an endless supply of ancient spiritual energy. It was the most suitable for Lin Ling to break through. After all, breaking through to the 7 dantians was the most terrible thing about not having enough spiritual energy halfway. In the following days, Lin Ling wasn't in a hurry to break through. Instead, he went to visit the mid-gods and learned the secrets of breaking through from them. With 7 dantians, Lin Ling knew that it would be very difficult for him to break through, so being cautious was the right thing to do. And these mid-gods' insights, some were useful to Lin Ling, some were useless. After all, everyone had their own path of martial arts. Of course, this also broadened Lin Ling's knowledge. And he knew from Lord Brahma that it was very difficult to break through with two talents. It was easy to create a situation where yin and yang collided, causing the breakthrough to fail. As for the 7 dantians, Lin Ling didn't ask anything. Since ancient times, there had never been a god who could only have 7 dantians. And this made Lin Ling even more cautious. He thought that without 60% confidence, it was better not to break through easily. Because if the breakthrough failed, he would be reduced to ashes. The main thing was that the 7 dantians were too big, and it was easy to create a conflict. Go to the prison and ask. On this day, Lin Ling entered the prison and first found Hongyun ancestor and told him that he was in Emperor Yao's territory. Emperor Yao, great, my child Hongyun ancestor is here. My lord, please give this token to him. After knowing that Lin Ling was in Emperor Yao's territory, Hongyun ancestor became excited. Lin Ling waited for Hongyun ancestor to finish laughing, then suddenly asked, Hongyun ancestor, do you think it's difficult for a god to break through to the mid-god realm with 7 dantians? 7 dantians, tsk, it's difficult. A god's dantian is like the void of the universe, forming its own world. And 2 dantians represent 2 voids of the universe. If one wants to break through, the voids of the universe will collide, so 7 dantians is even more difficult. Chapter 4599. Theoretically speaking, if you can split your mind and control 1 dantian with 1 mind, then borrow the power of the universe to split the 7 dantians and break through at the same time, it's still very safe. Of course, if your soul power and foundation are strong enough, you don't have to be afraid of this. If you want to have such a foundation, you have to have the strength of an ancient giant god. Hongyun ancestor, it's not difficult to split your mind and control 1 dantian with 1 mind, but how can you split the 7 dantians and break through at the same time? Oh yes, my child, Hongyun ancestor, has the exquisite 7 stars formation. With this formation, you can deify the 7 stars. Now, the success rate of breaking through will increase by 40%. Exquisite 7 stars formation. Lin Ling's eyes flashed. If that's the case, I can give it a try. Hongyun ancestor is in Emperor Yao's territory. You can ask Duo Wentian. Then, Lin Ling bid farewell to Hongyun ancestor and left the square prison without further ado. After coming out of the cave residence, Lin Ling immediately went to look for Duo Wentian. Stop! However, not long after he left, several figures stopped Lin Ling. It was the White Tiger Divine Emperor. Tell me the characteristics of the red-furred beast and I'll let you go. The White Tiger Divine Emperor said coldly and directly stated his purpose. Duo Wentian knows. Ask him yourself. Seeing the Divine Emperor's aggressiveness, Lin Ling did not give him any face. I'll give you another chance. The White Tiger Divine Emperor did not talk nonsense. Apparently, he had already looked for Duo Wentian. Unfortunately, Duo Wentian did not tell him, so he came to look for Lin Ling. Are you going to use force? After being threatened, even as a guest, Lin Ling did not intend to give him any face. You can think of it that way. Although you have obtained the support of many mid-level gods, I believe that with my master's ability, once I make a move, these mid-level gods won't dare to speak up for you. The White Tiger Supervising Soldier Divine Emperor nodded. I'm sorry, but I hate being threatened the most. Besides, do you think you can touch me with your strength? Lin Ling smiled disdainfully and shook his head in disdain. I'll give you a chance. Get lost now. Since I'm a guest, you don't have to suffer. Otherwise, I'll let you know. Tell me who I, Lei Gong Lin Ling, am. How dare you? The White Tiger Divine Lord was enraged. He didn't expect Lin Ling to be so arrogant and not put him in his eyes at all. One must know that although he wasn't a mid-level deity, he was still one of the top low-level deities. Since when did it become Lin Ling's turn to look down on him? What an arrogant tone. Do you think the White Tiger Divine Emperor doesn't exist? The other gods were also furious. They were all lower gods, but the White Tiger Overseer God was the strongest among them. Therefore, they felt that this little god named Lei Gong Lin Ling was simply a frog in a well and overestimating his own strength. One move. However, Lin Ling couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense and said indifferently. You're saying that not only do you want to defeat me, but you also intend to use one move. Hearing this, the White Tiger Divine Lord was even more furious. It had been a long time since someone had looked down on him like this. Are you ready? I'm going to attack. Lin Ling said again. Not only was he going to defeat the Divine Lord in one move, but he was also going to warn him in advance. I'd like to see how you're going to defeat me in one move. The White Tiger Divine Lord couldn't take it anymore. His surging divine essence erupted. His talent was actually a third-grade mid-level deity divine fetus. No wonder he had the right to be arrogant. Sky-splitting slash. Lin Ling only glanced at him briefly, then used his trump card. The reason why he used his trump card at the beginning was that Lin Ling didn't want to waste any time. With a light slash, it was as if the heavens and earth were split open. Time, vitality, the sun, and the moon all seemed to be cut in half. The White Tiger Divine Lord's face was full of disdain at first, but when Lin Ling attacked, he felt an ancient aura suppressing him. The slash seemed slow, but it carried the most domineering law of heaven and earth. He couldn't resist at all. Rumble. His divine essence couldn't block it, and his divine power instantly collapsed. His talent was even trembling at this moment. Plop. His legs went soft, and he fell to the ground in fright. Traces of water even flowed out of his white divine armor. He was actually scared to the point of wetting himself. However, at the critical moment, Lin Ling's palm stopped in front of the White Tiger Divine Lord's forehead. Then, all the aura disappeared. Trash. Lin Ling said, then walked past the White Tiger Divine Lord and toward Duo Wentian's cave abode. Good, good, good. Strong. All the gods were so scared that they didn't dare to move. They watched as Lin Ling left. One move, it was really just one move. Even someone as strong as the White Tiger Divine Lord was suppressed in one move. How could this Lei Gong Lin Ling be so strong? Looking at the White Tiger Divine Lord again, his forehead was covered in cold sweat. It was as though he had just walked through the door of life and death. The feeling of death was so clear and so close to him. Damn it! However, after Lin Ling left, he cursed with a grimace. Today, he wanted to threaten Lin Ling to hand over the characteristics of the red-furred beast. However, he didn't achieve his goal. Instead, his life was threatened with a single move. He was utterly humiliated. This humiliation was the greatest humiliation he had ever suffered since he became a god. No one is to speak of what happened before. I'll kill anyone who does. The White Tiger Divine Lord said through clenched teeth. Yes, yes, yes. The other gods didn't dare to disobey and nodded. Master, please step in on this matter. Then, the White Tiger Divine Lord said coldly. He had already thought of a crime for his master to kill Lei Gong Lin Ling and steal the secret of the red-furred beast. Unfortunately, he didn't know that Lin Ling had never taken him seriously. After all, Lin Ling's goal here was to break through. Once he succeeded, he could leave at any time. Brother Duo Wentian. Lin Ling came to Duo Wentian's cave abode and explained his purpose of visit. What? Ancestor Red Cloud. However, when Duo Wentian heard the name Ancestor Red Cloud, his face changed. Then, he saw Lin Ling's suspicion and immediately explained. It turned out that Ancestor Red Cloud was a giant god under Emperor Yao. He was very powerful and had a strange personality. Many people didn't dare to provoke him. After all, he was a god who had survived from the ancient times. He wasn't a reincarnated god nor was he an inheritor. He was very senior. It was because he was so difficult to deal with that even Duo Wentian didn't dare to provoke him. Do you still remember the white tiger divine lord you saw previously? Duo Wentian asked. Yes. Chapter 4600. If you must go, you can look for Zhong Shaoxian. I heard that she is going to visit ancestor Hongyun. Let her bring you there. Seeing that Lin Ling insisted on looking for ancestor Hongyun, Duo Wentian had no choice but to explain. He even told Lin Ling the location of Zhong Shaoxian's cave dwelling. Thank you, Duo Wentian. Lin Ling cupped his fists and thanked him. He then left Duo Wentian's cave dwelling. He did not look for Zhong Shaoxian immediately. After all, Duo Wentian had said that ancestor Hongyun was difficult to get along with. Although Lin Ling was here on behalf of ancestor Hongyun, if he could not make ancestor Hongyun trust him, he might not lend him the formation. Therefore, Lin Ling returned to his cave dwelling and entered the square prison. He also told ancestor Hongyun about his purpose for coming. What? That bastard doesn't trust you. After knowing Lin Ling's thoughts, ancestor Hongyun was furious. That's normal. After all, ancestor Hongyun has been cultivating for so many years. He has a lot of knowledge and experience. How can he trust others so easily? Not to mention, I'm just a lower deity in the outside world. After Lin Ling and ancestor Hongyun became familiar with each other, he got straight to the point. However, even if ancestor Hongyun knew that Lin Ling was a lower deity, he did not dare to offend Lin Ling because of Lord Prison's status. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you what that brat knows. Oh right, that brat likes painting very much and has entered the Tao through painting. He learned this from me. When the time comes, you only need to use the Tao of painting to convince him wholeheartedly and he will believe you. Ancestor Hongyun pondered for a while and suddenly laughed. Alright, I'll open a door in the prison and let you see everything I see. When the time comes, you can help me. Lin Ling nodded. Actually, as the Lord Prison, he could release ancestor Hongyun for a short period of time. However, for safety's sake, he didn't do so in the end. After all, Lin Ling could control ancestor Hongyun, but he could not control ancestor Hongyun. If these two ancestors worked together and ancestor Hongyun attacked Lin Ling, then Lin Ling would not be able to stop them. The secret of the square prison must never be known by outsiders. This was Lin Ling's plan from the very beginning. After bidding farewell, Lin Ling immediately went to look for Zhong Shaoxian. This Zhong Shaoxian was a goddess who was in charge of the Jade Lake during the Age of Gods. She was very powerful and had reached the level of a mid-level deity. When Lin Ling appeared in a cave with hundreds of blooming flowers, a clear voice rang out. Who are you? I am Lei Gong Lin Ling, a friend of Duo Wentian. I am here to pay you a visit. Lin Ling didn't barge in recklessly and spoke politely outside the cave. Big brother Duo Wentian. Come in. The voice came from the cave. Then, hundreds of flowers swam and 7 colored rays of light spread out. Finally, they parted to form a path of flowers, which was very beautiful. What a refined mood. Lin Ling smiled inwardly and strode in. He saw a dazzling cave appear among the flowers. Then, a woman in a white dress walked out with a smile. The woman looked young, like a pretty girl from a humble family. She didn't have the majestic aura of an ancient great deity at all. Lei Gong Lin Ling. You must be the god who found the secret of the red-furred beast. The woman smiled at Lin Ling. She was very friendly and didn't put on airs at all. I was just lucky. Lin Ling immediately cupped his fists. Hee, you're now a celebrity here. Many ancient great gods have obtained quite a number of Tao realm fragments thanks to you. Zhong Shaoxian continued, by the way, why are you looking for me? Lin Ling looked around and found that the decorations were not only elegant, but also unique. It seemed to be some kind of formation. It seemed that Zhong Xiaoxian's knowledge of formations was not shallow. Lin Ling then said politely, Brother Duo Wentian said that you are going to see Ancestor Hong Yun, so I wanted to ask if you could bring me along. Since Brother Duo Wentian said so, there is no problem. I am also going to see Ancestor Hong Yun, so let's go together. Alright, thank you very much. Lin Ling was delighted. Zhong Xiaoxian waved her right hand and a flower petal floated out from the cave. She called for Lin Ling, rode on the flower petal, and flew into the distance. Emperor Yao's territory is very big, and there are many deities. If no one leads the way, it will not be easy to find Ancestor Hong Yun. Zhong Xiaoxian stood on the huge flower petal and said to Lin Ling. Lin Ling nodded and glanced at the flower petal. He was surprised to find that the flower petal, which looked like a boat, had the speed of 1,000,000 worlds. She was indeed a middle deity. The treasure she casually used had the speed of 1,000,000 worlds. It was almost comparable to Lin Ling's Quafu sun chasing boots. Of course, Lin Ling estimated that the maximum speed of the flower petal was 1,000,000 worlds. However, his Quafu sun chasing boots could increase the speed. That was the difference. As they flew, they passed through the endless desolation, ancient mountains, and even the misty sky. A paradise began to appear in front of them. It was like a fairyland. When they flew over countless mountains, Lin Ling sensed many powerful auras hidden in the ground. This made him curious. How many ancient great deities were hidden in this ancient Tao realm? Looking ahead, there were green mountains and clear waters. Birds were singing and flowers were fragrant. There was a sparkling waterfall falling from the sky. The scenery was indeed beautiful. Oh yes, when you see Ancestor Hong Yun later, remember to be more refined. Don't be vulgar and don't fight. Ancestor Hong Yun was formed by the red clouds of the universe. He learned martial arts from a Tao ancestor. After many years of nurturing, he has already cultivated his character and focused only on the enlightenment of Tao. He hates arrogant people the most, the kind that wants to kill people the moment they open their mouths. If you make such a mistake, even I can't protect you. Of course, it's okay if you make a mistake. I'm afraid that you will drag me down. Zhong Xiaoxian reminded Lin Ling at this time. Don't worry, I won't drag you down. Moreover, I'm not the kind of person who likes to fight and kill. Lin Ling replied with a smile. However, he muttered in his heart, you don't like to fight and kill? He had killed countless people in his life. Many of his enemies liked to call him Old Monster Lin Ling. That's good. Zhong Xiaoxian didn't know what Lin Ling was thinking. When she saw that Lin Ling had agreed, she giggled. She looked even more like a pretty girl from a humble family. We're here. After a while, Zhong Xiaoxian led Lin Ling to a path of peach blossoms. The path was filled with peach blossoms. There were deer and cranes walking around. It was a thriving scene. Lin Ling looked around and was amazed. It seemed that Ancestor Hong Yun was indeed an otherworldly expert. He even thought of himself as an ancient great deity. Here, any deity would have to walk as a form of respect to Ancestor Hong Yun. Chapter 4601. When a warrior reaches a certain level, he will see through the world and focus on comprehending the great Tao of the universe. He will become a real ancient god as soon as possible. The path of comprehending the great Tao is actually a process of going from simplicity to complexity, and from complexity to simplicity. There are 3 great realms. The first realm is to see a mountain as a mountain and water as water. The second realm is to see a mountain as not a mountain and water as water. The third realm is to see a mountain as a mountain and water as water. Of course, this is easy to explain, but the mysteries within are not clear and cannot be explained clearly. Zhong Xiaoxian explained as she walked. I've heard of this state of mind. Unfortunately, many people know about it, but very few can achieve it. Lin Ling nodded. He guessed that Zhong Shaoxian was pursuing this kind of great Tao realm. However, Lin Ling also knew that when one's strength reached a certain level, treasures and cultivation were no longer the most important thing. Instead, comprehension was the most important thing. If one could comprehend the great Tao, he would be able to continuously absorb the spiritual energy of the universe and step into the most powerful realm of gods. However, comprehension was something that could only be found by chance. It depended on one's luck. Therefore, most gods still followed the prescribed order and used endless treasures to improve their strength. Very few of them put more effort into their state of mind. Shaoxian. When the two of them had just arrived at the courtyard, a voice of pleasant surprise suddenly sounded out from afar. When they looked carefully, they saw that 3 figures were walking over slowly. The one in the lead was a woman in a red dress. Her aura was very strong, and she was a mid-level deity. Behind her were 2 old men. Although they were also mid-level deities, they seemed to follow the woman's lead. Yo, Granny Qianhua. Zhong Shaoxian glanced at them and suddenly smiled. Granny. I'm very young. Also, I've reincarnated. I'm now called Goddess Qianhua, not Granny Qianhua. Hearing that, the woman in the red dress seemed to be a little angry. Hee, didn't everyone call you Granny Qianhua back then? Goddess Qianhua. That's a name you gave yourself. Apparently, Zhong Shaoxian knew the woman in the red dress. She even knew her in her previous life. Moreover, it seemed that the two of them didn't get along well in her previous life. She stared at Lin Ling and laughed coldly. Hee, you are really bold. You dare to bring an outsider to meet ancestor Hongyun. Is this your lover? He looks quite handsome, but this is the truth. You're so weak. Since when did you, old mother of 100 flowers, like an old cow eating young grass? What nonsense are you talking about? Zhong Shaoxian was infuriated. Apparently, she hated it when people called her by her old title, Mother of 100 Flowers. Lin Ling looked at the 2 young women, but in fact, they were old monsters fighting. He felt extremely depressed in his heart. The most important thing was that this kind of battle had dragged him into it. In the words of his previous life, it was really F***ed up. Brat, Matriarch Centuria's needs are very strong. Be careful, you won't be able to satisfy her. Kakik. Goddess Qianhua covered her mouth and mocked. He was shot even though he was lying down. Lin Ling felt even more helpless. However, he still said calmly, thank you for the reminder. However, let's not talk about the fact that I don't have that kind of relationship with Senior Shaoxian. Even if I did, it's none of your business. At the very least, Zhong Shaoxian can attract me. This shows her charm. But you? Lin Ling looked at the 2 old men behind Goddess Qianhua and couldn't help but let out a long sigh. You can only attract this kind of trash. Sigh, Granny Qianhua, I feel sorry for you. You're courting death. Goddess Qianhua didn't expect Lin Ling to mock her. Lin Ling shrugged. He didn't care about Goddess Qianhua's anger at all. Although he didn't have time to deal with Goddess Qianhua, Zhong Shaoxian was the one who brought him here. He didn't want to see Zhong Shaoxian being bullied. How can you be so reckless? Zhong Shaoxian was overjoyed. However, she immediately blamed Lin Ling. She was afraid that Lin Ling would be targeted by Goddess Qianhua and bring trouble to himself. After all, this was a grudge between her and Goddess Qianhua. It wouldn't be good to drag Lin Ling into it for no reason. Moreover, Lin Ling was only a lesser god. However, no one knew Goddess Qianhua's background better than Zhong Shaoxian. In the past, even she had to be wary of Goddess Qianhua. Do you know who I am? At this moment, Goddess Qianhua's voice turned cold. She looked like a woman, but she was actually a reincarnated god. In other words, she might be beautiful, but she had killed hundreds of times more people in her previous life than Lin Ling had. Lin Ling blinked at Goddess Qian Hua and shook his head blankly. To be honest, I really don't know. How dare you? Goddess Qian Hua was so angry that she almost vomited blood. Although she wasn't a top-tier god in Emperor Yao's territory, there weren't many people who didn't know her. This little god actually pretended not to know just to spite her. However, she didn't know that Lin Ling really didn't know. The only god he knew about Emperor Yao's side was Duo Wentian. Zhong Shaoxian was also dumbfounded. At first, she thought that Lin Ling was an honest little god, but who would have thought that Lin Ling would make Goddess Qian Hua so angry that she almost vomited blood? His mouth was really something. Of course, Zhong Shaoxian was also very happy to see Goddess Qian Hua angry. However, she was also worried about Lin Ling's safety. After all, she couldn't always protect Lin Ling. Moreover, she and Lin Ling were just strangers who met by chance. She was only entrusted by Duo Wentian. Goddess Qian Hua wanted to tell Lin Ling how strong she was, but at this time, the door in front of her opened and an old woman in luxurious clothes walked out slowly. Greetings, Mother Lin. Seeing the old woman, the arrogant Goddess Qian Hua immediately bowed. Although she was very strong in the era of the gods, she was still far from Ancestor Red Cloud. Ancestor Red Cloud had been enlightened by the ancient gods, and his understanding of the Tao was much deeper than many ancient gods. You're all here. The old woman smiled at the two goddesses. Of course, she also glanced at Lin Ling and the others. However, she didn't pay them much attention, thinking that they were just the followers of the two goddesses. Come in. Coincidentally, I'm free today. You can ask me a question. As long as it's about enlightenment, I'll definitely guide you. Then, the old woman walked into the courtyard. Zhong Shaoxian and the others were overjoyed. They came at the right time. They quickly followed. Lin Ling, Mother Lin is a drop of godly water in the primordial era. Later, she became Ancestor Red Cloud's disciple. She's very strong, so remember not to offend her. However, under normal circumstances, as long as you don't speak nonsense, Mother Lin won't make things difficult for you. Chapter 4602. What a great painting of the Great Way. Lin Ling smiled subconsciously as he was enjoying himself. Oh. Suddenly, the old lady stopped in her tracks and looked at Lin Ling calmly. Ah. Zhong Shaoxian opened her mouth wide. She had just reminded Lin Ling not to spout nonsense. However, the moment they entered, Lin Ling started to blabber. Ancestor Hong Yun was a person who valued etiquette the most. If he spouted nonsense, Lin Ling might be chased away immediately. What's more, she was afraid of implicating herself. Zhong Shaoxian was so speechless that she almost cried. My young friend, I didn't expect you to have such an understanding of the Great Way. The decorations in this courtyard were set up by my master when she watched the sunrise and sunset in the void of the universe for 3,000 years. Anyone who has a good sense of the Great Way will be able to sense it when they enter the courtyard. The originally expressionless old woman suddenly smiled, as if her mood had improved. You are also the first deity to notice the difference in the decorations here after so many years. After saying that, she led the group to the living room. Zhong Shaoxian and Goddess Qian Hua were dumbfounded. Previously, they thought that Lin Ling would definitely be chased away. However, not only was he not, he was even praised. Oh my God, this deity must be lucky. Soon, the group arrived at the living room. The decorations here were also different. The old lady greeted everyone and went to invite Ancestor Hong Yun. Seeing that he was about to see Ancestor Hong Yun, Lin Ling couldn't help but feel happy. He entered the prison with his soul power and communicated with Ancestor Hong Yun. What a lucky deity. You are so pretentious and you are praised by Mother Lin. However, your pretentious act will soon be beaten back to its original state. Goddess Qian Hua sat down and sipped her tea. Suddenly, she looked at Lin Ling and said with disdain. After all, Lin Ling was brought here by Zhong Shaoxian. Now that Madame Lin praised him, she felt as if she had lost to Zhong Shaoxian. At least, the two old men she brought here were not as powerful as Zhong Shaoxian. Goddess Qianhua, you're the one who's trying to be mysterious and pretentious. Who knows, maybe his background and comprehension are even more impressive than yours. This time, Zhong Shaoxian took the initiative to fight back. She did not want to drag Lin Ling into the mess. Him. Something that didn't even count as a medium god. I reckon he won't be able to break through in this lifetime. Only you, the 100-flower matriarch, would be tricked by this pretty boy. Goddess Thousand Flower was unwilling to back down. Hearing that, Zhong Shaoxian was completely infuriated. She sneered and said, "At least I'm better than you, Granny Qianhua. You can only attract the attention of those old women. Tell me, how much effort did you put into seducing the two old men behind you?" Zhong Shaoxian, don't be so mean with your words. Although my two followers are old, they are still better than your pretty boy who doesn't know anything. Goddess Thousand Flower was also furious. Hearing the two goddesses quarrel, Lin Ling felt even more depressed. You can quarrel all you want, but can you not drag me into it? Qianhua and 100 Flower are both flowers. No wonder they are at each other's throats. I heard that a young friend has seen through my Great Way star formation. TSK. I didn't expect a rare guest to come today. At this moment, an old and majestic voice was heard in the hall. Then, an old man walked out slowly. At this moment, everyone stopped talking and stared at the old man with respect on their faces. It was as if the old man represented time and the Great Way. Although he seemed to be walking unsteadily, his every move was natural, as if he himself was the Great Way. This aura was truly powerful, returning to one's natural state. Greetings, Ancestor Hongyun. Zhong Shaoxian and the rest immediately stood up and bowed slightly. Lin Ling also bowed and copied Ancestor Hongyun's appearance with his soul power and transmitted it to the prison. Child, my child, I finally see you again. It's been so many years. You've grown old. I miss you so much. Ancestor Hongyun's cries could be heard from the prison. It was filled with nostalgia, reluctance and excitement. Lin Ling was speechless. It's been so many years and you've grown old. That Ancestor Hongyun was already very old, alright. He suddenly felt goosebumps all over his body. The image of the two ancestors hugging each other after meeting each other appeared in his mind. Just thinking about it made him break down. Ancestor Hongyun, this kid is lying. He's just spouting nonsense. What does he know about the Great Way? Seeing Ancestor Hongyun praise Lin Ling in the first sentence, Goddess Thousand Flower was displeased. She did not think that a lower deity would know anything about the Great Way. Did I say you could speak? Impudent. Granny Thousand Flower, when you became famous in the age of the gods, I had already retired. Don't mistake our seniority. Ancestor Hongyun's face turned cold as he looked at Goddess Thousand Flower calmly. The latter did not dare to speak anymore. Ancestor Hongyun valued etiquette and knew about the Great Way. He believed that everything in the Great Way was orderly. Those who came first would always be above those who came later. It was because of this inflexibility that others thought that he was eccentric and difficult to get along with. My young friend, you must have some understanding of the Great Way. If that's the case, I have a painting here. Why don't you take a look at it? Ancestor Hongyun looked at Lin Ling. His eyes seemed to be able to see through Lin Ling as he smiled faintly. As soon as he finished speaking, Mother Lin took out a painting. When the painting was opened, it was a painting of a family in the mountains. There were mountains, rivers, people and flowers in the painting. It was as if it depicted a village that had returned to its natural state. Staring at the painting, everyone's heart would calm down. It was as if they were about to put down their martial way and return to the countryside. It's a good painting. The mountains are mountains. Goddess Thousand Flower commented immediately as she shared her understanding of the Great Way. Zhong Shaoxian opened her mouth as if she wanted to say something. However, her state of mind was not there and she could not comprehend anything. She only felt that the painting was extraordinary. If she hung it in her cave abode, her state of mind would definitely improve over time. However, after hearing Goddess Thousand Flowers' words, Ancestor Hongyun only smiled and continued to look at Lin Ling. He wanted to hear Lin Ling's opinion. The state of mind was the Great Way. The martial way was also the Great Way. Sometimes, one sentence could let others know how the person's state of mind was, whether they were on the same path, and whether they could comprehend the Great Way together. Since the fall of his rainbow cloud ancestor, he had never seen a like-minded person in all these years. Lin Ling was also staring at the painting. To be honest, he felt that the painting was indeed extraordinary. However, he really could not tell what was different about it in such a short time. With his current state of mind and experience, if he wanted to appreciate this painting and comprehend the great Tao within it, it was obvious that he could only say a few words. Oh right, Ancestor Hongyun's ancestor is here. Lin Ling's eyes lit up. Then, he copied the scene in front of him and placed it in the prison. Ha ha ha, little Hongyun, this child. Ancestor Hongyun's laughter could be heard in his heart. Ancestor Hongyun seemed to know why Ancestor Hongyun was able to comprehend the painting. However, Lin Ling felt goosebumps all over again. Little Hongyun. This name is too artistic. You can reply to him with 4 words. Ignorant and worthless. At this moment, Ancestor Hongyun's voice could be heard again. Chapter 4603. Milord, this painting is actually not Little Red Cloud's comprehension. Instead, it came from another great deity. This great deity had some background and yearned for the peak of the great Tao. However, because of this yearning, he was also at a loss. That's why he created this painting. What's laughable is that Little Red Cloud thought it was the great Tao. Little Red Cloud's comprehension painting is actually a treasure. At this moment, Ancestor Hongyun laughed again. Alright, just remember to help me later. Seeing how confident Ancestor Hongyun was, Lin Ling withdrew his soul power from the prison. When he returned to the main hall, he lifted his head and looked at Ancestor Hongyun. Ancestor Hongyun was also looking at him with a smile on his face. It was as if he wanted to know Lin Ling's comprehension of the painting. When she looked at deity Qianhua, she was unhappy. However, there was nothing she could do. After all, Ancestor Hongyun trusted this kid so much. Lin Ling, this is your chance. When Zhong Shaoxian saw Lin Ling looking at her, she immediately felt happy for Lin Ling. After all, not everyone had the chance to be valued by Ancestor Hongyun. Ancestor Hongyun, if you ask me. At this moment, Lin Ling opened his mouth. My young friend, just say it. Ancestor Hongyun laughed. Lin Ling nodded his head and said, then I shall be frank. To me, the Great Way depicted in this painting is ridiculous. No, ridiculous. Mother Lin thought it was some comprehension of the Great Way. When she heard it, she almost fainted on the ground. She shouted anxiously, This is Emperor Yao's masterpiece. He gave it to my master. Emperor Yao. Zhong Shaoxian, who was beside her, almost fainted on the ground. She had thought that the painting was left behind by Ancestor Hongyun. Who knew that it was Emperor Yao's masterpiece? Of all people, he chose to comment on Emperor Yao. Zhong Shaoxian almost cried. Didn't he say that he was not allowed to speak nonsense? Didn't he tell Lin Ling that Ancestor Hongyun hated those arrogant people the most? He even dared to say that he didn't know anything about Emperor Yao's painting. He was so arrogant that he couldn't recognize himself. Zhong Xiaoxian had a feeling that Lin Ling was going to be kicked out. That was not all. Most importantly, she was going to be kicked out too. Her face was full of panic and regret. Compared to her gloominess, Goddess Qianhua almost threw her head back and roared with laughter. What a good evaluation. Zhong Xiaoxian must be crying now. She hadn't even made a move, and her opponent had already fallen. However, compared to the different emotions of the crowd, Ancestor Hong Yun's expression remained unchanged. Instead, he looked at Lin Ling with even more curiosity. This was because this painting was indeed given to him by Emperor Yao. However, he couldn't see through it. This painting was ordinary, but it carried a mysterious aura. However, he couldn't figure out where the mysteries were with his level of comprehension. This question had been lingering in his mind for a long time. Today, when he saw Lin Ling, he brought it out to ask for advice. However, he didn't expect Lin Ling to be even more rebellious than him. He directly said that it didn't know anything. He was the only one among the deities who dared to evaluate Emperor Yao in such a way. Little friend, are you sure that it doesn't know anything? Ancestor Hongyun laughed. Hearing this, Zhong Xiaoxian quickly blinked at Lin Ling. What she meant was that Lin Ling still had a chance to correct his mistake. Actually, it's not that it doesn't know anything. Lin Ling didn't seem to notice Zhong Xiaoxian's expression and laughed as he spoke. However, his words made Zhong Xiaoxian feel relieved. This guy finally knew how to mend the pen after the sheep were lost. Actually, it's not only that it doesn't know anything, it's even worse than a piece of sh*t. Lin Ling said again. This time, Zhong Xiaoxian almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Ancestor Hongyun gave you another chance. In the end, not only did you not take back your words, you even said that it's even worse than a piece of sh*t. In fact, even Ancestor Hongyun's mouth was agape. He didn't expect the painting that Emperor Yao drew to be so worthless. This painting is indeed very ordinary. It only has a little bit of spiritual energy. To an ordinary martial artist, it's a rare treasure. However, to a deity, any scribbles are better than this painting. However, there's something special about this painting. At this time, Lin Ling said calmly. I'd like to hear more. Hearing this, Ancestor Hongyun's eyes flashed. A white flame appeared in Lin Ling's hand. Then, he gently smeared it on the painting. Oh my God! Is he trying to defy the heavens? Seeing this, not only Zhong Xiaoxian, even Goddess Qianhua was tongue-tied. Not only did you criticize the painting as worthless, you even burned it. How dare you burn Emperor Yao's painting? You're really bold. In fact, Ancestor Hongyun's eyes trembled. He almost wanted to slap Lin Ling to death. However, he held it in. However, his calmness was also effective. The first painting began to burn, revealing a map of the universe. What? There's a painting within a painting? Ancestor Hongyun's expression changed. It wasn't that he didn't think of this problem. He had already investigated it, but he didn't find a painting within a painting. It seemed like this was Emperor Yao's doing. He had to completely destroy the painting in order to see what was inside. Crackle, crackle. The map from before gradually disappeared. A desolate aura quietly spread out. Everyone present stopped breathing, suppressed by the aura. It was as if they had arrived at the most ancient desolation. Without a doubt, the aura of this painting was stronger than the previous one. The object in the painting was also majestic, as if it was splitting the heavens and earth. There were a few ancient deities in the painting. They each used their own techniques and attacked the darkness of the universe. Some of them sat cross-legged, some pointed with their fingers, some activated their chaotic divine weapons, and one of them even used his martial arts to attack the void. However, if one looked closely, one could see that the martial arts of the ancient deity was constantly changing. Sometimes it was a fist, sometimes it was a palm, sometimes it was a sword, sometimes it was a saber. However, after rubbing one's eyes, one would realize that it was all an illusion. That ancient giant god was merely maintaining the posture of punching out with his fist. What a painting! At this moment, Zhong Shaoxian and the rest seemed to have understood something. It was like the martial arts displayed by the person in the painting. This was the true Great Way, and it was the origin of the universe. A painting within a painting. So, this is the painting that Emperor Yao gave me. Ancestor Hong Yun was suddenly enlightened, and he was inexplicably excited. After Emperor Yao gave him the painting, he couldn't understand the mystery behind it. Now, he had finally figured it out. This painting was drawn by two paintings at the same time. It was drawn with divine origin. When the village was drawn, the map of the universe was drawn after the village. I guess this map of the universe is also a battle between the deities. At this moment, Lin Ling said again. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Everyone gasped. When the village was drawn, his divine origin was also drawing the map of the universe. He was multitasking. As expected of Emperor Yao. In fact, many deities could do this. However, it wasn't easy to draw out the charm of the painting. Chapter 4604. However, at this moment, Lin Ling spoke again. What a pity. Although this painting is good, it still lacks a sense of elegance and charm. What? This painting lacks a sense of elegance? Don't spout nonsense. Goddess Qianhua could not hold it in any longer. The previous village painting lacked a sense of elegance. However, the aura of this painting was obviously a few hundred times stronger than the previous one. How could it lack a sense of elegance? That's nonsense, isn't it? Sense of elegance? Before Ancestor Red Cloud could rejoice, he was immediately confused by Lin Ling's words. This was because he had the same opinion as Goddess Qianhua. He had already roughly comprehended the mysteries of the great Tao in the movements of the ancient gods that wandered the universe. Such a painting could be called flawless. What? Ancestor Red Cloud doesn't believe it. Although Ancestor Red Cloud did not say anything, Lin Ling could guess what he was thinking. When you are comprehending the great Tao, you are still too one-sided. You only see the mountains and not the streams. Lin Ling spoke again. Although his words sounded calm, there was a tinge of reprimand. This caused Mother Lin to almost slap Lin Ling to death. You're just a low god. Who allowed you to speak in such a tone? Zhong Shaoxian, on the other hand, felt like she was on a roller coaster ride. She almost knelt down and begged Lin Ling to stop spewing nonsense. She was a god, but she couldn't endure this kind of torture. My friend, your eyesight is extraordinary. Since you dare to speak in such a manner, you must have your own views. I would like to hear them. Compared to the mixed emotions of the crowd, Ancestor Red Cloud pondered for a moment and bowed slightly to Lin Ling. If Lin Ling had said this at the beginning, he would have slapped Lin Ling. However, Lin Ling's eyesight was sharp enough to discover the painting within the painting. Now that he said this, it meant that there was something else to the painting. He. Lin Ling smiled faintly. He looked at the cosmic star map and said calmly, what do you think these ancient gods are doing? Nonsense, even a blind person knows that they are fighting. Goddess Thousand Flower said immediately, her voice full of disdain. Since it's a great battle, may I ask, who are they fighting against? Lin Ling asked again. This. Everyone's heart exploded as they stared at the cosmic star chart. Suddenly, they realized that the ancient giant gods were attacking the darkness in the starry sky. However, there was no one there. Other than darkness, there was only darkness. So this is what it means to see the green hills but not the brook. Ancestor Red Cloud's body trembled. That's right, he was only paying attention to the aura of the painting, but he had forgotten to see through the simplest thing. Since it was a battle of gods, how could there be no opponents? Little friend, please advise me. At the thought of this, Ancestor Hong Yun cupped his fists at Lin Ling once again. He had changed from, "I'd like to hear more," to, "I'd like to seek your guidance." If I'm not wrong, the owner of this painting wanted to draw a painting of the ancient giant gods fighting against the will of the world. However, it's a pity that Emperor Yao had never seen the strongest will of the world. Therefore, all of this is just his imagination. This painting also shows that Emperor Yao is still far away from becoming an ancient giant god. He's just a little bit away from being qualified to participate in the most ancient battle. However, he yearns for this battle. Lin Ling walked over slowly. The will of the world. Ancestor Hong Yun was enlightened and understood what the painting was trying to express. Lin Ling's comments hit the nail on the head. The will of the world. Zhong Shaoxian, on the other hand, shuddered. She looked at the star map of the universe and then at Lin Ling. Her heart was filled with mixed feelings. How did he know all of this? In reality, no one knew that all of this was not guessed by Lin Ling, but by Ancestor Hong Yun. My friend, I'm impressed. Ancestor Hong Yun bowed deeply to Lin Ling. Seeing this, Mother Lin hurriedly bowed as well. Zhong Shaoxian did the same, leaving Goddess Qian Hua alone in an awkward position. Previously, she had said that Lin Ling was deliberately mystifying. However, the result in front of her was undoubtedly a slap to her face. I, Hong Yun, have been comprehending the Tao for 30 million years. It's hard for me to find someone who can comprehend the Tao with me. After Ancestor Red Cloud paid his respects, he laughed out loud. It was obvious that he was really happy about this. After hearing this, Zhong Shaoxian and Goddess Qian Hua's eyes trembled. The two of them came because of Ancestor Hong Yun's reputation and wanted to satisfy him. However, in the end, Ancestor Hong Yun was the one who made him happy. Such a dramatic change made them feel as if they could not see through Lin Ling. How could a junior of a lower deity have such power? Shaoxian, why don't you introduce this friend to me? At this moment, Ancestor Hong Yun looked at Zhong Shaoxian and said. He had quietly changed from a young friend to a friend of the same generation. His name is Lei Gong Lin Ling. As for his previous life, I'm not too sure. Zhong Shaoxian said hurriedly. My friend Lin, it's an honor to meet you at last. Hearing this, Ancestor Hong Yun greeted Lin Ling and said with a smile, it's my honor to have you here from afar. However, I don't think you're here just to admire the paintings. To be honest, Ancestor Hong Yun, I'm here for an important matter. I would like to borrow your 7 stars exquisite formation. Lin Ling said bluntly. 7 stars exquisite formation. No way. Mother Lin instinctively rejected him. The 7 stars exquisite formation was left behind by Ancestor Hong Yun's teacher. It could form 7 stars and had the power to reverse the universe. Even Ancestor Hong Yun did not have complete control over this spirit enchantment. How could he lend out such a precious treasure so easily? He was not even qualified to take a look at it. No problem. However, just as Mother Lin finished her sentence, Ancestor Hong Yun agreed with a smile. His words caused Mother Lin's pupils to tremble. She remembered that Ancestor Hong Yun had repeatedly rejected Emperor Yao's request to take a look at the spirit enchantment. After 100 years, Ancestor Hong Yun finally allowed Emperor Yao to take a look at the spirit enchantment. But now, Ancestor Hong Yun had agreed to take a look at it. This was too unbelievable. My friend, please come with me. Then, Ancestor Hong Yun brought Lin Ling out of the hall. In the hall, everyone was still looking at each other. Did I hear wrongly just now? Dao, my friend, Ancestor Hong Yun called him my friend. You didn't hear wrongly, because I heard it too. Oh my God, isn't the difference between a lower deity and a middle deity? A mid-level god actually called a low-level god Dao friend, and this mid-level god is the eccentric Ancestor Hong Yun. Both Zhong Shaoxian and Zhang Wuji were dumbfounded. You're the eccentric one. My teacher is not eccentric. He's just noble and doesn't like other deities. Chapter 4605. Ancestor Red Cloud appeared in the hall once again. It turned out that he had brought Lin Ling into the 7 stars exquisite formation and left after opening the 1-star gate. Fellow Taoist Lin was able to see through things that we couldn't, which means that he isn't simple at all. Although he didn't tell us where he came from, his familiarity with the will of the world and the primordial giant gods shows that his past life must not have been simple. Ancestor Red Cloud looked at the crowd and said, "Previously, when all of you were looking at the cosmic map of the universe and saw the ancient giant gods in the painting, all of your expressions were filled with respect and yearning. However, I saw that his reaction was calm, as if the ancient giant gods in the painting were not the ancient giant gods." Then, what did he see? Zhong Shaoxian and the rest exclaimed. They didn't notice this. He saw them as paintings. Ancestor Red Cloud paused for a while and said seriously. Paintings. Zhong Shaoxian and the rest shuddered. They thought about it carefully and suddenly, they understood. They saw the ancient gods in the painting as ancient gods. This was putting the cart before the horse. They had completely forgotten that these were just paintings. No matter how powerful the ancient gods were, as long as they appeared in the painting, they were just paintings. The onlooker sees more clearly than the person involved. After being pointed out by Ancestor Red Cloud, they finally understood the logic behind it. In fact, even I was almost lost in it. If I didn't look at Brother Lin unintentionally, I wouldn't have realized it. Ancestor Red Cloud suddenly sighed and said, "There are only 2 possibilities for this. Firstly, Brother Lin has already seen the ancient gods. Secondly, he has seen the most mysterious will of the world. That's why he didn't lose himself in it. Lei Gong Lin Ling, is his background that powerful?" Zhong Shaoxian and the rest were shocked. It was as if there was another layer of fog around Lin Ling. Ancestor Red Cloud could only shake his head helplessly. This was because he couldn't see through Lin Ling. At this moment, Lin Ling was sitting cross-legged in a corner of the courtyard. He was in a vast white space. Above the sky, a star was twinkling slightly, and an endless amount of spirit chi rolled down and enveloped him. This was the center of the exquisite 7 stars formation. This formation could be used for both offense and defense. It was incomparably powerful. It was just that the formation hadn't been activated yet. What a dense spiritual chi, and the star in the sky gives me the feeling that it's like the void of the universe. Lin Ling raised his head to look at the sky, his heart trembling. Even though this array had not been activated to attack, he still had a strange feeling, as if he was facing some kind of powerful ancient taboo. And this taboo was the primordial chi. Rainbow Cloud Ancestor, I've already entered the exquisite 7 stars formation. How do I activate all 7 stars? Lin Ling quickly said to Ancestor Hong Yun. Sir, I'll teach you the method to open it. However, you must be careful. This formation is extremely profound and can provide feedback to its owner. If you don't have complete control over it, you must remember not to open too many starry doors. Old Ancestor Hong Yun's voice rang out. Then, in the prison, Old Ancestor Hong Yun continuously drew out array formations. Lin Ling's soul power entered the prison and observed. Then, he was shocked. This level of array formations was too terrifying. Lin Ling's great Tao of array formations was already powerful, but when compared to these ancient arrays, he still felt that it was very strenuous. Exchange for Tao Realm Fruit, Cosmic Torrent, Heavenly Breathing Technique, Divine Transformation Ancestral Grass. While Lin Ling was comprehending the array formations, he was also exchanging for the treasures he needed to break through to the next realm. These treasures had tens of millions of years of history. Some of them had even existed since the beginning of the world. If they were placed in the void of the 9 prefectures, even the appearance of any one of them would cause the world to collapse. Moreover, in the void of the 9 prefectures, such treasures would never appear. This was also the reason why the 4 great gods had been in the void of the 9 prefectures for so many years but still couldn't break through. Now, Lin Ling had a lot of Tao realm fragments. He immediately exchanged them for a large amount of ancient treasures to break through to the next realm. After an unknown period of time, Lin Ling opened his eyes. In his mind, he was even more familiar with the exquisite 7 stars formation. 1 star transformation. Lin Ling took a deep breath. He knew that the most crucial moment had arrived. Therefore, he had to seal this formation and not allow anyone to disturb him, including ancestor Hong Yun. The difference between a lower god and a middle god was like the difference between heaven and earth. Therefore, it was extremely difficult to break through to the next realm. Any loophole would cause all the previous efforts to be wasted. Begin. Lin Ling adjusted himself to the best state and finally shouted. Behind him, a figure walked out silently. This person looked exactly like Lin Ling. However, his body was pitch black and he had a ferocious aura. This was the chaotic body. My friend, I'm counting on you. Lin Ling cupped his fists towards this person. Don't worry. That person suddenly raised his head and looked at the brightest star in the sky. Then, he shot towards it. After this person disappeared, another figure walked out from behind Lin Ling. This person was covered in lightning and he had wings behind his back. There was a piece of cloth tied around his eyes. He was very mysterious. This was the real body of Luai's. My friend, I'm counting on you. Lin Ling said calmly to this person. I'll try my best. This person also nodded towards Lin Ling. 2-star gate, open. Lin Ling formed a complicated seal with both his hands, causing the entire formation to operate rapidly. After a while, he pointed towards the sky. Rumble. In the sky, a second star appeared and shone down a ray of divine light. This caused the entire exquisite 7 stars formation to become violent. At this moment, in the main hall, ancestor Hong Yun was still talking to Zhong Shaoxian and the rest. Suddenly, the main hall shook and an ancient and domineering aura filled the air. What? The formation has been activated. Ancestor Hong Yun was stunned and his expression changed drastically. Master, this is bad. I'm afraid that Brother Lin is in danger. Why did the exquisite 7 stars formation suddenly activate? Mother Lin pondered for a while and her expression changed drastically. Obviously, they thought that the formation had been activated to kill Lei Gong Lin Ling. Quick! They rushed out of the main hall. Zhong Shaoxian and the rest knew that things were getting troublesome and immediately followed after them. After they rushed out of the main hall, they saw 2 rays of starlight lingering in the sky outside the courtyard. A mysterious ray of light shone on the ground. 2-star gate, the exquisite 7 stars formation has indeed been activated. Mother Lin, stop the formation immediately. Ancestor Hong Yun said anxiously as he scanned the area. However, before he could do anything, the 3rd star rose into the sky. A domineering and majestic aura spread out from the ground and stopped Ancestor Hong Yun and the rest from getting close to it. Soon after, the 4th, 5th, and 6th stars also rose into the sky. Chapter 4606. Boom! Looking at the ground in front of them, they could hear continuous rumbling sounds. It was as if an ancient giant beast was slowly crawling out from the depths of the ground. The courtyard was instantly flattened, and the endless green hills were shattered like fine powder. Even the strong Zhong Shaoxian and the rest were intimidated by the domineering aura and were forced to retreat. The array was so strong that even Ancestor Red Cloud could not withstand it and was forced to retreat. Buzz! However, when he looked into the distance, he noticed that there were 7 stars shining in the sky, and they formed the shape of a spoon. Endless starlight poured down like snow, and the ground that was enveloped by starlight had become a forbidden area for the formation. 7 stars open, exquisite formation. Lin Yang's face was filled with wrinkles. She grabbed her master and shook him continuously. This was because even her master could not fully activate the exquisite 7 stars array. In this world, only Ancestor Red Cloud's master could. However, now that the array had been activated to its strongest state, any middle god who entered the array would not be able to control their own life and death. The scariest thing was that the reason for the activation of the array was a lower god. Oh my god! What kind of lower god could be so powerful? Lin Yang, stop shaking me. My beard is falling off because of you. I saw it, I saw it. Ancestor Red Cloud could not help but scold. However, his eyes were still trembling as he looked into the distance. Opening of the 7 stars. How many years has it been since something like this happened? This reminded him of his master whom he had not seen for many years. His heart was filled with endless nostalgia. Master, the array you left behind has finally been activated. But, where are you? Ancestor Red Cloud knelt down and shouted with tears in his eyes. It was as if he had resolved a burden in his heart. Ancestor Red Cloud, what happened? At this moment, the ancient great gods nearby had all arrived. Looking at the terrifying starlight array, their faces were all solemn. However, when they saw Ancestor Red Cloud's expression, they knew that they would not be able to get anything out of him. Amazing! Someone actually activated the exquisite 7 stars array. Back then, Ancestor Red Cloud relied on this array to avoid the twilight of the gods. This is the famous exquisite 7 stars array during the Age of the Gods. It is indeed extraordinary. The ancient great gods were all secretly shocked. At this moment, no one saw Lin Ling sitting cross-legged beneath the 7 stars. His long hair danced incessantly under the starlight. And from his body, a terrifying strength surged into the sky, disappearing into the 7 stars. The 7 stars represented Lin Ling's 7 great talents. He had sealed all 7 of them in the 7 stars and had broken through them one by one. After he had broken through, he would return them all. Then, he would be able to step into the ranks of mid-gods. Of course, even so, the breakthrough this time was still very difficult. Even Lin Ling only had 60% confidence. Fortunately, he had done a lot of preparation for this breakthrough, so he could prevent any failures from happening again and again. Beside him, countless treasures seemed to have been eroded by the wind and disappeared quietly. Then, they merged into the starlight and floated towards the 7 stars in the sky. Fellow Taoists, is there anything wrong? After a long while, Lin Ling opened his eyes and looked indifferently at the sky. Fellow Taoist, you're fine. Fellow Taoist, I've already begun to break through. Fellow Taoist, you can leave. Once you've broken through, we'll definitely return. The 7 stars in the sky also transmitted their majestic voices. These voices were the external bodies of Lin Ling. They carried each of Lin Ling's talents and entered the 7 stars to break through. I'll help you one more time. Lin Ling nodded his head. His enormous soul power spread out and shrouded the 7 stars, helping them break through. Rumble. After the soul power surged in, it enveloped the 7 stars, causing the originally turbulent 7 stars to gradually calm down. Regardless of whether it was from afar or close up, one could only see the 7 stars in the sky. Everything seemed real. How magical. Outside the huge array, the people also witnessed the changes in the array. Some ancient great gods were curious and quietly approached the array. However, just as they entered the array, they were shrouded by the starlight and immediately turned into nothingness. Ancestor Hongyun, save me. He had just entered the boundary of the array, but he was already in a life-threatening situation. This showed how powerful the array was. Fusang Juanzi, who allowed you to enter the array? Even I don't dare to enter this array. Now, you should leave with the help of the Tao state. When Ancestor Hongyun saw this, he was angry at first, but then he shook his head helplessly. With that, the ancient great god was taken away by the light of the Tao state. One could imagine that without the help of the Tao state, he would definitely die. Furthermore, he died in the array. Therefore, when he returned, he would also die in the array. This would cause him to die continuously and disappear completely from the world. Of course, this ancient great god was not a fool. At least, before the array disappeared, he would not be able to return. What happened in the 7 stars exquisite array? Where's Daoist Lin? Ancestor Hongyun looked at the starlight world in front of him and the doubts in his heart grew stronger. However, there was nothing he could do. Now, he could only wait. Master, I'm afraid that fellow Daoist Lin came prepared. Regardless of whether he was the one who opened the 7-star exquisite formation or not, from the moment he started comprehending the painting, I think everything was a trap. Mother Lin suddenly said. Hearing this, Ancestor Hongyun could not help but laugh bitterly. Even if that's the case, so what? To be able to open the 7 stars door, Daoist Lin's background must not be simple. As they were talking, Lin Ling stood up under the endless starlight. His eyes were still looking at the sky as he sensed the changes in the 7 stars. This was the first time he experienced the process of breaking through. He broke through on his own, but he did not have to face any danger. Everything was handled by his avatar and the 7 stars. Although the 7 stars looked peaceful on the surface, he had a feeling that within the 7 stars, there must be an earth-shattering battle. If I wait here and let a more powerful god discover me, he will definitely be curious about me. To avoid unnecessary trouble and since I can't help much now, I might as well leave this place first. After observing for a long time and seeing that nothing strange happened, Lin Ling decided to leave. This time, he could not leave the 7 stars exquisite array. Therefore, he thought of returning to the 9 continents void to take a look. Daoist Lin, if there are any changes, inform me immediately. After saying this to the sky, Lin Ling's heaven-returning Tao tablet appeared in his hand. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared from the spot. In fact, after he disappeared for an hour, a powerful divine power swept past the place where he was. However, it did not find anything strange and eventually went to other places to search. This powerful force obviously came from an elite ancient great god. He was also attracted by the 7 stars exquisite array and came to observe with curiosity. Chapter 4607. The power of the Tao realm is indeed powerful. It could even ignore the starlight of the exquisite 7 stars formation and bring me out of the Tao realm. On the other side, Lin Ling appeared in the void of the 9 states unscathed. This was still the sky of the spirit state, and it was also the place where Lin Ling entered the Tao realm. Looking at this ancient land, Lin Ling could not help but smile. Although he had not entered the Tao realm for long, because of his cultivation, he felt as if hundreds of years had passed. Master and the others should be fine, right? With a step, Lin Ling instantly appeared in a hall. At this moment, there were many experts in the hall discussing matters. Lin Ling's sudden appearance undoubtedly gave them a fright. Who are you? Then, someone shouted angrily. This was an important place of their sect. Someone had come uninvited. This was completely disregarding them. Moreover, they saw that Lin Ling was smiling and staring at an elder instead. He was ignoring them, which made them furious. Swoosh! Swoosh! They all attacked Lin Ling. However, when their powerful attacks landed on Lin Ling's body, Lin Ling did not move at all. Instead, a wave of aura was released, causing all of them to fall to the ground. What a powerful technique! What kind of power is this? Everyone was shocked. No one knew that Lin Ling's energy center had entered the 7 stars realm. He did not have divine origin, but his physical strength was very strong. He had 7 million points of strength and the power of 10,000 realms. However, how could they fight against such power? Don't be rash. He's Lei Gong Lin Ling. Suddenly, a loud roar was heard. It was Xing Xian. At this moment, he finally recognized Lin Ling and was very shocked. He remembered that Lin Ling had entered the Tao realm a long time ago. How did he return so quickly? Lei Gong Lin Ling. In the hall, whether it was the sect leader or the elders, they were so scared that their faces turned pale. They did not dare to say a word. The current 4 great gods, no, the number 1 god of the void in the 9 prefectures, was not someone they could afford to provoke. Back then, when Lin Ling entered the Tao realm, he led the 4 gods to fight against the other gods. This matter had already spread throughout the 9 prefectures. Master, it's good that you're all right. Lin Ling ignored everyone's shock. Instead, he walked towards the constellation cloud and bowed slightly. Last time, Xing Xian was almost killed by the underworld's demon sealer, so Lin Ling wanted to see if his master was all right. What could possibly happen to me? Why would those gods care about a small fry like me? Seeing that Lin Ling had personally come to visit him, Xing Xian was undoubtedly very touched. After all, with Lin Ling's current strength and status, for a mere cultivator like him to be acquainted with Lin Ling, he was definitely climbing up the social ladder. All those years ago, he'd acted recklessly and forcefully taken Lin Ling as his disciple, yet he'd never imagined that this disciple had already become the proudest existence in his entire life. Master, come. Lin Ling ignored the people around him and left with Xing Xian. To him, apart from Xing Xian, everyone else was like an ant, a floating cloud of bones. Of course, if it were other gods, they'd think the same. In the world of gods, all cultivators were ants. This was because as time passed, cultivators would die, but gods would not, and their lifespans would be longer. Lord Lei Gong Lin Ling is indeed Xing Xian's disciple. I'm so envious of Xing Xian. After so many years, Lei Gong Lin Ling still hasn't forgotten about him. Sigh, he's so lucky. After Lin Ling and the others left, envious voices could be heard from the main hall. Meanwhile, Lin Ling left with Xing Xian, then took out a large number of treasures and designated Xing Xian to cultivate. This made Xing Xian feel both grateful and helpless. He was grateful that Lin Ling still cared about him, but helpless because wasn't he his master? Now, the disciple was teaching his master. How embarrassing. The two chatted for a long time. Finally, Lin Ling bid farewell and left. Next, he went to Qing province to visit the 3rd princess and the others. At the same time, he took out treasures to help them improve their strength. After greeting many acquaintances, Lin Ling finally returned to Lei Gong's main hall. Father. Ling, her. When Lin Ling appeared, Ancestor Extreme Flame and the others were overjoyed and came to welcome him. They all knew that Lin Ling had gone to the Tao realm, and they also knew about the recent war of the gods. At that time, Lin Ling was the leader of the 4 gods, and he led the 9 states to fight against the other gods. Whenever they thought of this, even though Lin Ling's achievements were already extraordinary, they still felt proud of Lin Ling. Perhaps Ancestor Extreme Flame didn't expect that the youth from the Fire Ancient clan would reach such heights. Is everyone alright? Lin Ling smiled and walked towards everyone. He bowed slightly to Ancestor Extreme Flame and his mother, Mo Nianchen. Then, he looked at his son Lin Yi with admiration. Lin Yi's strength had increased by quite a lot, and he could be considered a big shot. After a short conversation, Lin Ling asked Emperor God Zhang Gang how they were doing. They came back to take a look. Later, they heard that something happened at the Path of Domination, so they immediately rushed over. Ancestor Extreme Flame said. Path of Domination? Lin Ling frowned. He had heard of this place before. It was one of the 9 states' 7 great forbidden grounds, but he had never been there. Yes, I heard that experts of the Tao realm came back and were chasing after a few people. Emperor God Zhang Gang and the others immediately went to help. Ancestor Extreme Flame nodded. This made Lin Ling fall into deep thought. Experts of the Tao realm came back. Of course, it could be Chang Liang or the Ox Demon clan. But who could they be chasing? These gods had gone to the Tao realm, so why did they suddenly come back? Could it be? Lin Ling's eyes narrowed. Could it be that they were chasing after the host of the world will? For so many gods to come out and chase after the path of domination, the person being chased must have a big background. So, it was very likely that it was the host of the world will. And Lin Ling knew that the host of the world will, other than the one sealed in the Dragon clan, the rest were the gods of the Spirit Nation, Taoist master of many treasures, and the others. They were too strong, so who would dare to chase after them? As for Lei Gong, it was unlikely. Not many people knew that he was still alive. Could it be Xiaoluan? Right, and Longyang? It seems that these gods in the Tao realm were entrusted by someone. Since the ancient gods of the Tao realm couldn't enter the 9 states void, they relied on them. Emperor God Zhang Gang and the others received the news, so they immediately went to help. Lin Ling didn't hesitate. He asked about the location of the path of domination and quickly left Lei Gong's hall. The path of domination was somewhere in the void. It was said that this path led to the ancient era. There were countless treasures inside. Although it was famous in the 9 states, not many people had been there. Only the Taoist master of many treasures knew about it, and the latter was searching for treasures in the path of domination. Then, he came to auction it. Chapter 4608. He possessed the power of 7 million worlds. Generally speaking, he was invincible among the low-level gods. However, if he encountered a top-notch low-level god, Lin Ling might not be able to win by relying on his physical strength. Currently, he had 3 methods available to him. First, he could use his external avatar, but his strength would obviously be greatly reduced. Second, he could use Pangu to attack. Third, he could use Little Kunlun. However, with Little Kunlun's current strength, it could not fight against a god. However, he could not afford to wait any longer. He could not let anything happen to Xiaoluan. After a long time, a dazzling ray of light appeared in front of him. It was like a blazing sun, sucking in everything that passed by. That ray of light was like the mouth of an ancient beast. As expected of one of the 9 prefectures' 7 great forbidden lands. Even though Lin Ling had been to the Tao realm and was more knowledgeable, he could not help but be amazed when he saw the road of domination. It was said that the road of domination was left behind by the god realm. Back then, it was the battlefield of the gods. Countless gods had fallen there, resulting in countless treasures. According to the rumors in the 9 prefectures, this battlefield was not from the age of the gods, but from the ancient era. This caused very few people to enter the road of domination. No one had ever reached the end, not even Taoist master of many treasures. Without any hesitation, Lin Ling shot into the ray of light. He guessed that Xiaoluan could enter the road of domination because he wanted to use the mysteries of the road of domination to block the pursuers. It was not difficult for Lin Ling to guess who wanted to capture Xiaoluan. It was most likely related to Bai Shan, Burning Heart, and Deng Xian. Whoosh! After entering the ray of light, an ancient wind attacked and tore at Lin Ling's body. However, although Lin Ling's talent was not there, after many years of tempering, his physical body had already reached a terrifying level. The divine wind could not tear Lin Ling to shreds. Even if it injured him, Lin Ling recovered in the blink of an eye with his powerful recovery ability. Looking around, he saw countless rays of light flickering like starlight. These rays of light seemed to be engraved in the surroundings. They flickered and emitted a desolate aura. It was as if there was an ancient beast hidden in each ray of starlight. The light was like a white horse flashing by. It seemed slow, but in the blink of an eye, Lin Ling had stabilized his body. He was currently on a heaven's path. The heaven's path was vast like the Milky Way, and it reached deep into the void. And on this Milky Way like heaven's path, all sorts of ancient objects were floating there. There were rocks, divine weapons, and even many heavenly treasures. I've heard that the path of the Sovereign Lord is filled with countless treasures. Now that I've seen it for myself, it seems to be true. Lin Ling waved his right hand, and a small cauldron flew toward him. The surface of the cauldron was carved with the head of an unknown beast. It looked very ferocious. After Lin Ling grabbed it, he exerted a bit of force. Pa! The small cauldron immediately turned into fine powder. As expected, although there are many treasures, most of them are useless. Lin Ling nodded and waved his right hand again. A piece of black rock shot towards him. Lin Ling caught it in his hand and threw it to the left. The rock shot to the left like a meteor. It turned out that Lin Ling wanted to see what would happen if he walked out of the path of sovereigns. The left seemed empty, but after the rock shot in, it seemed to enter water and quietly disappeared. Something's wrong. Lin Ling was shocked. The rock had disappeared. If he didn't follow the path of sovereigns and left the main road, he would disappear. As for where it went, Lin Ling didn't know. But he guessed that it was definitely somewhere bad. But fortunately, the path of sovereigns was vast, and there were many floating objects. If he met a top expert, he could use the floating objects to hide himself. Without divine energy, I can't even use the Kwa Fu Sun chasing boots. Otherwise, I could find Xiaoluan and the others quickly. Also, I don't know where Emperor Zhang Gang is. Time was precious. Lin Ling once again followed the path of sovereigns and shot forward. In front of him, there were many floating objects. There were rocks, treasures, and even ancient trees. These ancient trees were slowly growing in the huge soil. There were also some broken temples. Of course, there were also some bones left behind by gods. However, when Lin Ling passed by these bones, the wind immediately shattered them. It seemed like the gods' bones had lost their divine power and were useless. Xiao. At this time, there was a change. It happened very quickly. Danger. Although Lin Ling didn't have soul force, his many years of life and death experience were still there. He stopped abruptly. He saw a firefly fly past him and land on the broken temple in the distance. The temple emitted a dazzling light, then quietly turned transparent and finally disappeared. What is this? Lin Ling's eyes narrowed. That firefly didn't do anything and directly turned the temple into nothingness. Lin Ling had never seen such a method before. Most importantly, he couldn't sense what method the firefly used. Then, Lin Ling realized that the firefly was staring at him as if it had a spirit. Lin Ling even had an illusion that the firefly was staring at him and smiling. Suddenly, a soundless cry came from the firefly. The firefly didn't make a sound, but Lin Ling could still hear an ancient cry. Caw caw caw. The floating objects in the surroundings all floated toward the firefly and continuously condensed, as if they were about to become a giant. However, this giant was very strange because there were trees, temples, and even rocks on its body. It didn't look like anything at all. And on top of the giant's head, a lamp quietly condensed. It looked like a soul lamp. After the soul lamp lit up, the giant also erupted with a towering aura. When it was fully formed, it held a huge ancient tree in its hand and rushed toward Lin Ling. It looked huge, but its speed was incomparably fast. It was the speed of 1,000,000 worlds. This speed was comparable to Lin Ling's basic speed. Lin Ling didn't have the innate talent fusion, so he couldn't outrun this giant. Whoosh! The huge ancient tree in the giant's hand fiercely swept over. Lin Ling immediately punched out, the power of 7,000,000 worlds erupting. With a boom, Lin Ling didn't gain any advantage. His body flew backward, and he almost rushed out of the road of sovereigns and turned into nothingness. What kind of monster is this? Lin Ling was tongue-tied. It was clearly the condensation of scattered objects, but how could it be so powerful? No wonder so few people came to the road of sovereigns. It was because it was too dangerous. That soul lamp is probably the giant's weakness. But the giant is too fast, and its attacks are fierce. I can't get close. Lin Ling frowned. Just as he was thinking, an ancient gale swept over. The giant attacked again. Boom! Lin Ling reached out with both hands and grabbed the ancient tree that was sweeping towards him. This time, the ancient tree was unable to move an inch. Ah! Chapter 4609. However, the soul lamp above the giant's head gradually became brighter, as if it was about to use some technique. Kunlun. However, at this moment, little Kunlun, which had been sleeping on Lin Ling's left arm, finally woke up. It clearly knew that Lin Ling was not as strong as he was in the past during his breakthrough. It turned into a vine and swam along the giant's arm. In just a short time, an ancient forest appeared on the path of sovereigns. The giant was completely entangled by vines, and one of the thicker vines even swam to the top of the giant's head and wrapped around the green soul lamp. The soul lamp was also extinguished, as if it had met its nemesis. When the soul lamp was extinguished, the insufferably arrogant giant stopped moving and turned into an inanimate object. This unforeseen event shocked Lin Ling. He did not understand what had happened. In the end, he could only look at little Kunlun. However, he discovered that in the endless vine forest, there were all kinds of colorful fruits. Fruits. He remembered that little Kunlun had already bloomed a long time ago. Was this the fruit? Pa! One of the fruits fell, filling the air with endless smog. Poisonous miasma. Lin Ling was shocked. Pa! Another fruit fell, turning into fine powder that drifted away with the wind. However, a moment later, a large number of saplings appeared in the sky ahead. The terrifying thing was that these saplings were like man-eating animals, their leaves full of sharp teeth. Pa! The third fruit fell, and a fierce flame suddenly burned. As for the fourth fruit, it turned into a silver whip that looked like a snake. Upon closer inspection, it was also a vine. The vine waved in the air, easily tearing through the void with a light movement. Even Lin Ling's body wouldn't be able to withstand such sharpness. Of course, the vine waved for a moment before gradually withering and turning into dust. What's going on? Could it be that little Kunlun swallowed the soul lamp and then grew and transformed? Lin Ling was even more surprised. Fortunately, the endless vines began to shrink, turning into a single vine that swam towards Lin Ling. Upon closer inspection, the vine was no longer black, but had many colorful leaves. Kunlun. Furthermore, the voice that came from little Kunlun was filled with joy. Lin Ling communicated with little Kunlun and learned that these soul lamps could help little Kunlun grow. That was why little Kunlun was so happy. As for why it was like this, even little Kunlun did not know. Looks like little Kunlun is also extraordinary. Lin Ling thought to himself. When he had obtained little Kunlun, it was in the ancient power of the Qing Prefecture's Azure the Arch. Logically speaking, no matter how strong the Qing the Arch was, he was like an ant compared to the gods of today. Unless little Kunlun was hidden in the ancient power and even the Qing the Arch didn't know about it. It also exceeded Lin Ling's imagination. Without thinking too much, Lin Ling continued forward with little Kunlun. Along the way, they encountered those fireflies again. However, the moment the soul lamp appeared, little Kunlun would immediately devour it. This caused the fruits on little Kunlun to increase. Luckily, I have you. Otherwise, with my current strength, it would be difficult to find little Kunlun and the rest. Lin Ling smiled at little Kunlun. Then, he sensed his various avatars and realized that among the 7 avatars, 5 of them were already in the process of breaking through. Although they were far away, those avatars were one with Lin Ling. Therefore, they were connected to each other. As they continued forward, there were voices in front of them. These people were all wearing white robes and looked majestic. At this moment, they were standing on a huge rock and looking into the distance. People from the Spirit Nation. Lin Ling's eyes flashed. Little Kunlun escaped really quickly. We almost caught her in the Tao realm. However, she chose to commit suicide and was taken away by the Tao realm. She hid in the void of the 9 prefectures and caused us to leave the Tao realm and chase her here. That's right. However, little Kunlun probably doesn't dare to enter the Tao realm now. After all, many ancient gods have already gathered there and are just waiting for her to return. Humph, now that the Kurishin and the others can't even protect themselves, little Kunlun won't be able to escape this time. There's also Longyang. She's also someone that Bai Shan wants to capture. No matter what, the Spirit Nation's gods made a deal with Bai Shan and the others. Since it's difficult for them to enter the void of the 9 prefectures, it's up to us, the Spirit Nation, to capture these world will hosts. Don't forget that Yuzhou's Divine Sovereign and the others are also trying to capture little Kunlun and the others. Damn, they're really going all out for the Tao realm fragments. Previously, Luli Empress transmitted a message to us to be careful of the people from the Great Hall of Lei Gong. A few experts from the Great Hall of Lei Gong have also entered the path of Dominator. As they continued to talk, Lin Ling learned the whole story. It was indeed Bai Shan. However, the fact that the Spirit Nation had actually reached an agreement with Bai Shan and the others surprised Lin Ling. After all, White Mountain, Burning Heart, and Burning Heart were all here for the World Will's host body, and the Great God of Spirit Kingdom was also a host body for the World Will. Wasn't the Great God of Spirit Kingdom afraid that White Mountain and the other 3 divine gates would harm him? Unless. Suddenly, Lin Ling felt a sense of worry. Lei Gong was also a host of the World Will. What he feared the most was that the Spirit Nation had to hand over Lei Gong. Shaking his head, Lin Ling knew that the most important thing now was to find little Kunlun and the others. Immediately, he flew towards the huge rock. He wanted to know the whereabouts of little Kunlun and the others through these people. There's someone here. Could it be the Yuzhou Divine Sovereign's men or the underworld? Lin Ling's arrival immediately caused the group of people to stop talking and look over calmly. Who are you? Tell me your name. One of them said calmly. However, Lin Ling remained silent. Although these people had the strength of a lower deity, they were not very strong. Therefore, Lin Ling planned to capture all of them in one fell swoop. He did not want to waste time. After all, he was now in the process of breaking through and his strength was not as strong as before. It was always better to be cautious. Damn it, I asked you a question and you didn't even answer. Could it be that you're a thief? Seeing Lin Ling's silence, the people of the Spirit Nation were furious. After returning from the Tao realm, their horizons had been broadened. The people of the 9 prefectures void were not worth mentioning. Moreover, the experts of the 9 prefectures void were all in the Tao realm. Therefore, there was no one in the 9 prefectures void that they were afraid of. You're courting death. I'll make you regret coming to the path of Dominator. One of them snorted coldly. Terrifying divine energy bloomed and turned into a chain that wrapped around Lin Ling. Looking at the divine energy, there were at least 50,000 units. As a mid-stage lower deity, he had 50,000 units of divine energy. His strength was not weak at all. Unfortunately, it was useless against Lin Ling. Bang! Lin Ling broke the chain with a punch. His speed suddenly increased and he suddenly appeared in front of the deity. His big hand grabbed the deity's neck and squeezed viciously. Pa! 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 Like firecrackers, the powerful deity's neck was crushed. Most importantly, this was the 9 prefectures void and not the Tao realm. This meant that he was completely dead. Chapter 46:10. One had to know that they had just escaped a crisis in the Tao realm and returned to the void of the 9 continents after their deaths. Who would have thought that one of them would die in the void of the 9 continents? You dare to kill a god of the spirit nation? You're dead meat. An old man roared hysterically. A white 8 trigrams mirror appeared behind him. This was his innate ability, and it had the power to destroy everything. Not good. He seems to be Lei Gong Lin Ling. Suddenly, someone's legs trembled as he pointed at Lin Ling in shock. What kind of joke is this? Isn't Lei Gong Lin Ling in the Tao realm? The other gods were all shocked. They were no longer as arrogant as before. Lei Gong Lin Ling was someone that even the 4 monarchs of the spirit nation were wary of. Even the great gods of the spirit nation were helpless against him. Now, he had appeared in front of them. You are Lei Gong Lin Ling. The old man who had activated the white 8 trigrams mirror trembled as he spoke. Bang! Lin Ling moved at full speed and smashed the 8 trigrams mirror behind the old man. Then, with a swing of his palm, he killed the old man. Speak. Where are Xiao Luan and the rest? Where are the people from the Lei Gong Hall? After intimidating the group of people with his thunderous aura, Lin Ling shouted majestically. They are here. All the gods were afraid and didn't dare to keep quiet. You can't say. However, a young man suddenly shouted coldly. He stared at Lin Ling. His left eye was blue and his right eye was yellow. It was as though he could see through Lin Ling's strength. He is not Lei Gong Lin Ling because he doesn't have divine origin. This person had actually found out that Lin Ling didn't have any divine origin. Who are you? How dare you impersonate Lei Gong Lin Ling? How bold of you! The young man laughed sinisterly as though he had seen through Lin Ling. Just because I don't have divine origin, you think that I'm not Lin Ling? This made Lin Ling laugh. This person was so silly. That's right. Lei Gong Lin Ling is much stronger than you. You must be an impersonator. You must have some ulterior motive for impersonating Lin Ling. The young man revealed a look that said, I see through you. Stupid. Lin Ling shook his head and did not waste any more time. He erupted with the speed of 7 million worlds and punched out like an ancient beast. It couldn't be blocked at all. Blood gushed out, and any divine force was blasted apart by this fist. Is it important whether I'm Lin Ling or not? Because I can kill you with a single punch. Lin Ling looked at the young man indifferently and said disdainfully. The young man spat out a mouthful of blood before dying. He pointed at Lin Ling and died with his eyes wide open. Indeed, whether this was Lin Ling or not, they were no match for him. This decided their fate. Run. The gods around were frightened. They wanted to leave immediately and inform Luli Empress and the others. Rumble. However, just as they left, an endless forest wrapped around them. Its aura was so terrifying that it seemed to have sealed this area. In the endless forest, a large number of soul lamps flickered and floated over. Within the soul lamps, wind howled, thunder rumbled, lightning flashed, sand and stones flew, and giant mountains shook. It was as if all kinds of power had gathered. Looking closely, this was not a forest. It was a primitive forest formed by countless vines. Most importantly, they were surrounded by the forest, and there was no way out. As for the soul lamps, they were actually fruits in the vines. What is this thing? Quick, destroy it and open up a path of survival. One of the gods roared and unleashed his power of divinity, which transformed into a gigantic saber that slashed out viciously. Suddenly, several fruits floated down and exploded in midair. Lightning flashed, thunder rumbled, and heavenly flames surged. Not only did the divine power of that god explode into powder, but it also directly killed him. Fight! The gods also knew that they could not escape this calamity. They all used their full strength. Pa, pa, pa. However, the vines also began to drop fruits. When they fell to the ground, they exploded with all kinds of ancient power. It was as if a flood was surging, causing heaven and earth to collapse. The gods began to die one after another. In the end, only one escaped. Only 3 survived. At this moment, they were trembling and did not dare to say a word. However, after they stopped resisting, the vines did not drown them. Instead, it was Lin Ling who walked over step by step. "Speak, Shaoluan. Where is Lei Gong's palace?" Lin Ling said as he walked. His seemingly calm voice seemed to have come from the 9 underworlds. The corners of the 3 gods' mouths were trembling. Even now, they were not sure that this was Lin Ling. This was because the methods used by this Lin Ling were completely different from the rumors. He should be a fake. Imperial Past Celestial Venerable has escaped. He will definitely inform Spirit Nation. Before long, Luli Empress and the others will definitely come. Sire, since you are not Lin Ling, why do you have to interfere in this matter? How about this, you can leave now. We will pretend that nothing happened before. One of the gods cupped his hands and said to Lin Ling. He still did not believe that this was Lin Ling. Escaped? Lin Ling sneered and frowned. Ah! Outside the ancient forest, the only god who escaped let out a painful cry. Countless sprouts suddenly grew from his body. They were like blood-sucking plants, forcibly sucking this god to death. Underworld death plant. Seeing the miserable state of that god after death, the 3 gods' faces turned pale. What a strange method. Killing a god was as easy as blowing off dust. They could not even sense when that god was killed. They naturally did not know that countless fruits had fallen before. Some fruits had turned into fine powder and disappeared in the spiritual energy. They borrowed the momentum to enter the god's body. With a command, they could instantly absorb the god's blood and grow. It was incomparably terrifying. And this characteristic was similar to the underworld death plant. Shaoluan and the others are half a day's journey away from here. They are on the right side of the road. Finally, the 3 gods spoke the truth. The main thing was that this person who looked like Lin Ling was too powerful and too strange. He clearly did not have divine origin, but he killed them like killing chickens and dogs. You dare lie to me? Lin Ling frowned. Under his voice, vines swam over. The leaves were full of teeth, looking at the 3 gods malevolently. No, no, every word is the truth. The 3 gods stared at the demonic plant on Lin Ling's shoulder. They were so scared that they knelt down. Of course, Lin Ling was just scaring them. He was afraid that they were lying. Now that he saw that they did not seem to be lying to him, he immediately shot into the distance. Chapter 46:11. Luli Empress is here too. Although my grudge with her has ended, and this is the new Luli Empress, she definitely wants to kill me quickly. Since that's the case, I'll end her once and for all on the path of domination. Lin Ling's eyes were cold. Luli Empress's resurrection was ultimately a huge problem. This woman had always been unscrupulous in order to achieve her goals. Now that she had entered the Tao realm, it was best to kill her completely to prevent her strength from increasing by leaps and bounds. Recalling little Kunlun, Lin Ling sped into the depths at full speed. The path of domination seemed to have no end. From time to time, soul fires would flicker. They were those fireflies. Lin Ling didn't know what these fireflies were made of, but he guessed that they should be the souls of the ancient gods who had died. Fortunately, little Kunlun wasn't afraid of these fireflies, allowing Lin Ling's journey to be smooth. Whoosh! Suddenly, endless light appeared in front of him. It was actually the light of a large group of fireflies. TSK, TSK. Lin Ling was secretly amazed. Even with little Kunlun, he didn't dare to provoke them too much. He quickly took a detour. Moreover, the further he went, the wider the heavenly road became. This gave Lin Ling a lot of space to dodge. At this moment, a feeling of resonance appeared in Lin Ling's heart. Lin Ling couldn't help but be delighted. The heavenly dragon's bone talent is about to break through. Yes. Although the distance was far, because of the doppelganger, their minds were connected. Moreover, as long as his 7 dantians broke through, no one would be able to threaten him anymore. He even dared to fight an ordinary mid-level god. So big. As he moved forward, Lin Ling realized that the heavenly road was already vast and boundless. Moreover, there were large amounts of floating objects, as if he had arrived at the wasteland of the universe. The right side of the heavenly road. Next, Lin Ling ran to the right. Along the way, he passed through countless floating objects. However, Lin Ling also realized that these floating objects were getting bigger and bigger. Many of them were as magnificent as islands, and there were also a lot of plants on them. Moreover, around the island, fireflies that looked like soul fires were flying. Although there weren't many of them, they seemed to be searching for something. Boom! Suddenly, a rumbling sound came from one of the islands, as if there was an intense battle going on. Lin Ling hurriedly shot toward the island. He swept his gaze across the island and saw that there were many gods on it. The two sides were currently engaged in a fierce battle. One of them was Lei Gong's palace, while the other side surprised Lin Ling. It was an old acquaintance, the underworld demon sealer. Lord Lin Ling. When Lin Ling suddenly floated above the island, a voice suddenly sounded. It was the people from Lei Gong's Great Hall. The experts from Lei Gong's Great Hall that were left behind in the void of the 9 states were clearly weaker than the Tao realm experts, but they were still mid-stage lower gods. The ones leading them were God Emperor Zhang Gang and Giant Ghost. When they saw Lin Ling, they were undoubtedly shocked. They didn't expect Lin Ling to come here from the Tao realm. Originally, they should have informed Lin Ling about this matter. However, when they found out that Xiaoluan and the others were being hunted, Lin Ling happened to be inside the mist barrier on the island. They didn't want to disturb Lin Ling, so they didn't inform Yu and the others and came here on their own. Lin Ling. At the same time, the underworld demon sealer and the people from the South Tomb also saw Lin Ling and their expressions turned ugly. Last time in the Spirit Province, they were forcefully chased away by Lin Ling. Even with Emperor Zhan's help, they almost died. Thus, when they saw Lin Ling, they naturally hated him to the bone. Most importantly, they missed the chance to enter the Tao realm because Lin Ling was guarding the outside world at that time, causing them to hide in the underworld and not dare to come out. Now that they saw Lin Ling again, besides being angry, they also knew that things were not good. First, they still hadn't recovered their full strength. Second, Lin Ling's shadow in their hearts was too heavy. Underworld Demon Sealer. Lin Ling stood on the island and coldly stared at the Underworld Demon Sealer. With just one glance, the Underworld Demon Sealer didn't dare to move. He could only grit his teeth and speak in a low voice, "Lin Ling, you really are a dog with a keen sense of smell. You're everywhere." He knew very well that now that Lin Ling had entered the Tao realm, his strength must have greatly increased. Scram! Lin Ling angrily shouted. "You want us to scram?" The underworld demon sealer clenched his fists tightly. He hated Lin Ling for humiliating him again. 1. Lin Ling didn't waste time and calmly counted. 2. His voice was calm, but it carried a domineering aura. "Let's go." The underworld demon sealer pondered for a moment, then left with hatred in his heart. "Let's go." A large number of underworld knights also left with him, majestically rushing towards the heavenly path. In the blink of an eye, only the people from Lei Gong's palace were left on the island. They all looked at Lin Ling excitedly. As expected of Lord Lei Gong, he didn't even need to do anything and scared off the underworld demon sealer with his majesty alone. Where are little Luan and the others? Lin Ling also hurriedly landed on the island. They were together before, but after we stopped the underworld demon sealer and the others, little Luan went deeper. God Emperor Zhang Gang hurriedly said. Moreover, an immortal overlord came from the underworld. He's extremely powerful and is now chasing after little Luan. The giant ghost also spoke. What about Longnyang? Lin Ling asked again. I heard that Longnyang also entered the path of domination, but we haven't seen her. I heard that the spirit nation is chasing after her. I guess she's also in the depths. God Emperor Zhang Gang said. Let's go find them. Lin Ling didn't say anything else and immediately left the island. The people from Lei Gong's palace also hurriedly followed Lin Ling. If Lord Lei Gong didn't want to find little Luan and the others, those underworld gods would have died long ago. One of the old men laughed loudly. That's right. They escaped last time, and this time, they escaped again. However, Lord Lei Gong can't be bothered to kill them. The others laughed as well. Hearing this, Lin Ling shook his head and said to the people behind him, that's not necessarily true. My current strength is not as strong as before. If we really fight, the result will be an even fight. What? Hearing this, everyone stared at Lin Ling in disbelief. I'm currently in the process of breaking through, so my strength isn't with me. With this strength, even if I can defeat the underworld demon sealer and the others, it will take a lot of time. That's why I scared them away. Lin Ling looked at everyone and laughed. That works too. God Emperor Zhang Gang and the giant ghost were speechless. When they thought of the underworld demon sealer and the others fleeing, they couldn't help but laugh. If they knew that the current Lin Ling wasn't much stronger than them, what would they think? Don't worry, my strength will return soon. When that time comes, no one will be able to stop me on the path of domination. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.